Penny switch frontside flips to Carlsbad Gap.
The switch. Do you guys want to hear the story of that?
Yes.
No, we're good.
Is that what we're here?
We're good.
All right,
Wait,
anyways,
yes, please.
So yeah, the switch frontside flip, Carlsbad Gap, right?
All right, we are back, huh? We're back at the 9 Club, everybody. Today, we have a very special guest. Mr. Rune Glifberg is with us. How are you, dude?
I'm great. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I like to build up the tension, the suspense a little bit, you know?
Who's this
you cracked a smile there. You like that?
Yeah.
You didn't know what was going on?
Made my nervous levels just go up like even more. Special.
Oh, man. We're just setting the tone. How are you, dude? Thank you so much for coming, first of all. Amazing. I know you used to live here down in San Diego, but you moved back to Copenhagen?
Yeah.
11, 12 years ago, you said?
Yes, like around 2011. But yeah, I had 17 years here in California.
Oh, wow.
Orange County and North County, San Diego. So, I guess, living the American dream, I guess. And now I guess my dream just was going in a different direction than the American dream.
It brought you back home.
The Copenhagen dream was alive.
Yeah.
Well,
and our skate scene changed a lot over there too, so that was part of the reason why I felt that I could go back.
Oh, in Copenhagen?
Yeah, in Copenhagen. Yeah.
Now, when you went back to Copenhagen, was the Copenhagen Open going on back then, or what made you? What was the scene looking like that you're like, I'm going to go back?
Well, we had just gotten a huge brand new skate park, so that was like
that's a plus.
That was a big plus. So I knew that I could go over there and like still skate and sort of like be active. But I think mainly it was to do with my daughters that were kind of getting a little bit older, and I wanted them to kind of I don't know, maybe grow up in a similar way to how I grew up, and maybe not. Like, nothing bad about America, but maybe not the American way and the California way. Like, I wanted them to, like, take the bus and, you know what I mean? Like, kind of learn, like, I guess to me, normal stuff. You know what I mean?
Isn't that
like,
weird?
I think, like, over here, I think as a parent, you'd be kind of scared of that.
You got to wait till like at least 30 to take the bus along.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, I would have been, like, driving them to school every day and like doing all this stuff that that was kind of like keeping them in sort of a weird like protected bubble instead of like going out and like experiencing life on their own and like figuring out on like a rainy day like the bus is not running, like maybe I have to jump on the train, or like figure it out, like kind of get street smart in a way, you know.
How old are your daughters?
22 and 19 now.
Wow.
So they're both adults away traveling in Sri Lanka right now, just on a trip with their mom.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay. And so you took the opportunity to take a little trip out here.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. So
when
you were born in Copenhagen?
Yes. Born and raised in Copenhagen, Denmark. Moved from there in 94 is when we moved all the Flip Skateboards out here to California, and came out here and stayed for 17 years, and then it was time to pack it up.
That.
And
But how old were you when you moved out here?
I would have been, I think, 19 or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you'd already, adult legally out there, you could move out here.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like some kids came out here way younger than 19 too.
Right, yeah. No, I remember I came out and I was like working on like trying to get fake ID and whatever, and I was just like, I bought this like Mickey Mouse like driver's license that was like from like whatever, like Legoland or something back home. It was like I just like filled it in and put my photo on there, and it's like you just like show that to the doorman or whatever, and they were like, "Oh yeah," because they couldn't read whatever language is on there, you know. Okay. So it'd just be like saying like stupid Mickey Mouse shit.
This is your this guy's using a Legoland ID. That's amazing.
Yeah,
I love it.
and it worked.
When you lived out here, well, no, I think we should go back to like growing Denmark and getting sponsored and all that stuff, because you pretty much have had the same sponsor, Flip, for how long now? What are we going on now?
Jeremy and Ian put me on in 1990. So it wasn't even Flip Skateboards
Deathbox.
then. So that was Deathbox, and it was my first sponsor ever. Like I wasn't even shop sponsored or anything.
Wow.
So
how did that even happen? What was going on right there? And was Deathbox big back then, or was it just a small little company?
Well, it was a company out of the UK, so it was a kind of a small European company, and they had a good team for Europe. There was a lot of really good skateboarders on there, but it just happened that there was a contest in Copenhagen at a place called Forum, which is like a local sort of whatever, like a sports arena, like they do cycling in there or whatever. But yeah, so there was this contest there, and Omar came over, for example, was like ripping, destroying.
Omar
like,
Hassan?
Yeah, Omar Hassan.
Okay.
Came over, and previous years, like Tony Hawk had been out there, and like bunch of like really good skateboarders that was already like coming to Copenhagen for these contests. They were called Scandinavian Open.
And you're going
so
to these contests watching?
Or
you're skating?
I entered this one.
Pro contest?
This is 1990.
Or anybody? It was AM and pro.
I think it was like pro and AM. And I didn't do particularly well. But yeah, I guess Jeremy, saw something in me. Like I think like more like a fire more than anything. Like I had like semi like dreadlocks, like long hair, like real greasy long hair. Had a board that my friend had given me that just had like hash spray painted all over the grip tape. And my friends were cheering me on, and I was like, I guess I was like going for it. Like looking back at it now, I definitely don't think that I really had talent, but it was. They asked me to ride for Deathbox after the contest had finished or whatever. It was like towards the end, around the finals maybe or something like that. And I remember like after the contest had finished, we kind of stayed in there and kept skating. And I remember that very specifically at that time, I like instantly felt like I was like 10 times better at skateboarding, because it was like because the craziest validation to like, yeah, hey, we want to sponsor you.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, then actually,
were you better at that? Did it make you better, or were
for
you
sure?
Just, yeah,
for sure. It like
confidence.
The confidence just like went through the roof. And
so wait, you
and
didn't
then
think,
after
you didn't
that,
think you were capable of being sponsored at that time?
no, I mean,
Wow.
I dreamt about it, like whatever. I thought it would be a cool thing, but I mean, I didn't come from money or anything, like, so I was like riding my friends' used boards and, you know, like just kind of like, yeah, a little bit sort of like aggressive type skateboarding, you know, like maybe like hands down and like a little, like, I don't know, just like not super clean.
Okay. Was anyone else sponsored by you when you were growing up? Like, do you have any friends that were sponsored?
Yeah. There was lots of Danish skateboarders that were sponsored at the time. I mean, if you look at old like I think like Propaganda and like some of these like old PAL videos, there's a whole bunch of Danish skateboarders in there. Casper Plass, Nicky Guerrero, obviously big legend, skateboarder today, and still, I mean, one of my biggest inspiration throughout my whole career.
Okay.
Mark Foley, and a number of other guys that were like sponsored by like Smith Sticks and like New Deal and that kind of thing.
It's
so there was
interesting.
really good skateboarders there. I mean, looking back at it, I think like out of all the European countries, I think actually Denmark had some of the best skateboarders at the time.
That's so interesting that they were standing out so much that the American companies back then were gravitating towards that.
For sure.
Because it seems to few and far between. It seems like if you're so far away from everything, but you're seeing skaters around you that have made it.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah, sure.
And so it actually like makes you be like, oh, it's obtainable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously it was. I mean, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
Deathbox.
I started learning at a totally different pace after I got sponsored.
That's so
And
right.
I mean, I was just I was like 10th grade at the time, which is like when you sort of like finish school over there, or like the first part of school. And so I was just graduating. I think the contest was in May or something like that. So it was right before graduation. And then after I graduated, like all I wanted to do was just really just skate. And I remember I got the first box like right before, you know, like graduation and all this. And then, it was like like maybe like 2 boards or like there's some of the guys.
It's some propaganda.
Like that.
Watching
the
Danish.
Yeah, Danish guys. Anyways, so what was I going to say?
You were getting boards.
I was getting boards.
They were just sending them to you from the UK.
I got like 2 boards, 2 sets of wheels, some T-shirts. That was it, like first box. And then I remember like the second box that I got, I was like looking at it, and I got this like board, and it had something like written on the top graphic, or not the graphic, like it was like written in black marker. And it said warped on it, but I didn't know what that meant.
This is the second box.
Yeah, this is the second box. This is the second box. You know what I mean?
They're pretty much sending you seconds.
Yeah, exactly. And then like I had to look it up in the dictionary and be like,
wait a minute,
what does that mean?
Looked it up?
Yeah, because I was like, what does this mean? And then I was like, all right, that's like. Yeah, it's like whatever, and I looked at it. I was like, checked out the concave, and it seemed fine. Whatever.
Okay.
I was hyped. They were sending me stuff. I mean, it was crazy, and just I mean, back then also just like making a phone call to like talk to Jeremy, like. You know, like I had to make an international call to England, and like the phone sounded it had a weird ringtone, like the English one and stuff, and I was like super confused, and you know, it cost a lot of money, and like to like try to like keep this sort of contact with him, and was like super strange and weird. But
how was your English at that point?
It was decent, I guess. Yeah. I mean, everyone learns English in school over there, so I'd probably had it since like whatever 3rd or 4th grade.
Oh wow, okay.
So I mean, I definitely understood and could talk.
They didn't teach you warped though.
No, exactly. That was like one of the
that could have been helpful.
Like, yeah,
could have been very helpful.
But then I started traveling to some contests with those guys.
Okay, so they'd invite you along.
Yeah.
Obviously.
I'd go to events, like go meet him somewhere, like maybe like in like Hamburg or places that were like semi-local.
Who was on the team back then?
Okay, so it was Alex Moll.
Yeah,
I think
legend.
He might have just turned pro or was about to turn pro.
Okay,
and he's my age, so he would have been like 15 at the time. Sean Goff. Pete Dossett.
Mm.
Who else was it? It was Yucky Olson. So a lot of transition guys at this time.
Mm-hmm.
Who was on? There's a guy called Davey Fanleary, street skater, photographer now. Takes a lot of photos for Vans now, I think, maybe.
Okay. And this is the late 80s or early 90s we're talking?
This is 1990.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, is when I got put on.
When did Deathbox turn into Flip? What year was that?
I think that happened maybe
92?
Yeah, I think 92. It could have even have been like 93.
Okay.
Flip started alongside Deathbox. So that was kind of like Ian's thing, Ian Deacon.
Okay.
So Jeremy Fox founded Deathbox, and Ian had started Flip Skateboards alongside it. So it's kind of like whatever, like a little girl chocolate type thing, or whatever, like for Europe. And I guess around like 92 or 93, Deathbox was kind of like a really sort of like old school type of name, and not like everything was all about street skating now and all these types of things. So I think they felt that Flip was a more appropriate sort of name, and so they switched a lot of the team over to Flip Skateboards. Oh yeah, this is wow. Yeah, this is my Deathbox video part right here.
Oh, sick.
This was all filmed in one day, I think. Skating a mini ramp, which was on the 4th floor of like this youth center in the middle of Copenhagen. So this, so this is like
rad.
in like some random room,
That's amazing.
way up on the 4th floor. And rocking my Dodo's shirt. It's a Deathbox shirt on there, and
you got it going on. One day, okay. You were just
tricking along,
And this was what year was this one? 91.
Yeah, that might have come out in 91. So I guess I'd been on the team for like maybe maybe about a year. So this is fella parking. This is actually the skate park that I talked about, where that had just got refurbished when I moved back in 2011. So this is the original one, and this is where you'll see like Nicky Guerrero skate, and those old PAL videos, and like Mark Foley and everyone like that.
So they got a little street section over there too.
Yeah, we had all the jump ramps and all like whatever, like the street setup going, and there was
Now
like
that wasn't concrete, was it?
No, it was all asphalt,
Okay,
and
it
there's like
looks-
It's like wooden boxes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the vert ramp looks concrete.
it's metal. It was
it's
gray
metal.
metal. Yeah, so it was
Okay,
a metal vert
gotcha.
ramp, and I mean, I learned a lot of my stuff on that ramp. You know what I mean? Like all the early stuff.
That was your hometown park.
What was it like the weather there growing up? Because it gets cold out there, right?
Yeah, I mean, that was part of the reason why I'm out here right now on this little 3-week little American holiday or whatever.
There you go.
But would you just be inside, like skating that ramp all the time during the winters?
That was our like winter hideaway for sure. Was Kluben, and down below there was a little mini street course that we had going. I mean, it was just basically like there was like few little flat bars and maybe a jump ramp or something like that.
So
And,
when
yeah.
go ahead. Were you gonna?
No.
I was gonna say. So when Deathbox was kind of going down because of the street skating was coming in,
Right.
what happened there? Did they just say, "Hey, okay, you're on Flip now"? Did they put a lot of people on, or did they kind of what happened there?
Yeah, I think like a lot of people were sort of letting go, and Jeremy
Okay.
was kind of sort of aware that he wanted a sort of newer, like more modern breed of skateboarders.
But
to
you were
sort
still
of,
on the come up, but you still were like kind of you were a vert skater though.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
vert was kind of going. You could have been on the receiving end of that. Like, hey, we're going a
Sure.
different direction.
Yeah, I guess he saw something in me. I mean, I've always street skated. I
Sure.
still street skate to this
Yeah,
day.
yeah,
I'm not great at it, but I mean, back then I could like certainly like hold my own a little bit. You know what I mean? Like I could do some stuff.
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. I've seen
Jump
you.
down some handrails and whatever. Yeah.
I've seen your work.
So I think for Jeremy, yeah, he was definitely trying to narrow it down. So
Okay.
I mean, it ended up being just, I mean, the team that they moved to the States in '94 was myself, Tom Penny, Jeff Rowley, and Andy Scott. And Andy Scott was sort of a transition skateboarder as well.
That's an amazing crew.
Yeah.
So sick.
Yeah, we were the four that came out to the States. So I guess everyone else had kind of, in a way, been let go.
Yeah.
By that time. So yeah, they were definitely trying to make something that was a little bit more modern and sort of like more compact and yeah.
Did they just like, hey, we're taking all you guys to California? Was that how did? That's a pretty big move for all you guys.
Yeah, I mean, I'd been traveling to England to skate with those guys, and I was sort of living over there a lot with Jeremy, yeah, I'd like stay with him at his mom's house, and then like during the day I'd go like to the factory or whatever, and I'd help him like screen boards, or sometimes we'd like cut him and shape him and all that kind of stuff. And I mean, it was like we were barely scraping by as a skateboard company, or we weren't. I mean, we would like screen boards or like shape them during the day and like go to the skate park and like sell them for like 20 pounds or whatever.
Wow.
And then like that would buy us like maybe some gas and a couple of sandwiches at night.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
guys
Like
were
that.
really-
It was like that.
Okay.
And then sorry.
No, I was just like, that's amazing to hear. Just how you guys, all four of you, how do they just talk to this or have a conversation with you going out to California?
Come-
It seemed
coming
like
out
the
to
next
California,
step,
yeah.
right? Because
Well,
go ahead.
yeah.
no,
So that was like basically they had kind of like set it up like with Per Velander and Tony Hawk with Blitz Distribution. So I guess them two had kind of invested into Flip, I guess, and so they were ready to like just move us four out as like a unit. Like, this is Flip Skateboards, and I don't know if you remember, like the first Flip ad was like, well, I think it said Welcome to America or something like that. And it's like, it's all of us four sitting at like John Wayne Airport at the like John Wayne statue behind us.
Yeah,
and it's like photoshopped the big American flag in the background.
I don't really. We'll try to find it, right? Roger,
yeah,
try to find it. Right
yeah,
now.
it's pretty dope.
Wow.
But yeah, so
you had been to America before? You had been to California?
No.
Oh, okay.
That was the dream, and I think like to me it was. I mean, it was literally like stepping onto like a movie set. Like it was crazy. I remember landing in LAX and I mean everything just like had that American look that I'd seen in skate videos and magazines and like we're driving out of the airport and like straight away, I don't know if it's like Sepulveda or like or the other one that runs parallel. I forget which one it is. One of those Sepulveda, and then there's that rail that's right in the corner that Rodney skated. I think maybe like the only handrail that Rodney ever skated.
You just from the car, you're just saying
like, and this is like within out of the airport within like 2 minutes. I'm like, there's that spot. Oh my fucking God. The curbs are fucking red. What the fuck is going on? And I just remember the first night.
No red curbs in Copenhagen.
Oh hell no. No. Fuck that. No. Yeah, so it was like the first night, like it was just like, and it was warm and like just, I mean, it was like probably like July or something. Yes, it was crazy. And I remember like that night we went out and we just skated red curbs all night. And like, I think we went to Taco Bell or something like that, which was also like a thing that you didn't have in Europe. So it was like, yeah, it's pretty crazy. And then, I mean, yeah, everything sort of just started evolving from there, I guess.
Man, you were part of the OG.
Yeah. Did Ian and Jeremy go out there too, or did they all stay behind in England?
They were they had gone ahead of us, but I think Jeff had gone ahead. He was like he'd gotten here maybe a couple of weeks sooner than I remember. It was me and Tom that flew. I think it was me and Tom and Ian that flew out together on that first flight, and then they like came and picked us up or whatever at the.
But they moved the whole brand out there as well too.
Yeah.
Okay,
and they got blitz distribution.
Yeah.
So
and
now,
like Tony Hawk invested into the company. Right. This is probably like knowledge that maybe a lot of people don't really know about. They were like, him and Per had like bought in on like I think it was like a 10-year contract or something like that they were, part owners. And then after that, I guess Jeremy and Ian sort of like got their shares back after those 10 years or whatever. Yeah. But I mean, Tony's done so much, not only for skateboarding, but definitely for like my career. And like, if there's anyone that I would ever think, like it would be like Jeremy Fox and like whatever Tony's done, and Ian and everyone. So yeah, it was big things. Like there's no way that we would have been able to like make it here on our own. And I think that counts for the rest of the team as well. Tom and
because at the end of the day too, it's like what companies were in the UK. I mean, they've always had their own kind of scene and companies out there, but like
that was it,
right? You guys came, you guys brought the whole thing.
Yeah, cliche wasn't a thing. Tita's. There was like Tita's brand, but I don't think they were really making skateboards at that time. They were early on. There was like Tita's skates, so they were more of a distributor, and they were doing the big like Monster Mastership competition or whatever, the World Championships that was going down every year. So as far as like European skate brands, it was like no. And I mean, at that time, as you know, I mean, skateboarding was dying. It was, we're riding the 38 mil wheels and all that bullshit, like it was crazy.
Were you pro? Were you pro when you came out here too?
Yes.
How did you turn pro?
I turned pro in 92, and I remember Jeremy called me and one day, and or maybe I'd called him or whatever. It was a conversation where he's like, "Yeah, I think we want to like do a board for you, and I have an idea for like a graphic," and he was like, "Yeah, we want to say just Glifberg across the board, but in the Carlsberg font, like the Carlsberg beer, which is a beer from Copenhagen, and which is a brewery that is obviously huge in Denmark. Is one of the biggest breweries in the world. But I like every day when I take the train, I would like ride right by it, and I was like, oh my God, that's so brilliant. It's so crazy. So my first board was actually just like a green board with like white writing that just said Carlsberg across it.
Right. We got it right here coming up.
Yeah. Well, there's been like a lot of different ones.
Is this it?
No, that's actually. Does it look like Copenhagen? The chewing tobacco? That's supposed to be.
Maybe
Copenhagen chewing tobacco.
Maybe it does. Yeah.
No, it's a. You got to look up the Carlsberg logo. And,
Carlsberg.
Yeah. So I had a bunch of different boards with that on there. But anyways, so that was the first board, 92, and then so I'd been pro for 2 years.
Okay.
But I'd not made any money as a pro.
Right.
I was able to, I was young, so I guess I maybe didn't really need money. But I'd been able to make a living. So maybe we were selling some used boards. Maybe some people would pay for my travel. I'd go stay with Jeremy, and he would like pay for me and like buy my food or whatever I needed. I mean, when you're whatever 17, 18 years old, you don't really need much.
For sure.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to think. Also, it's like here's this company based in the UK. Who are they selling their boards to? I mean, obviously they don't have a big distribution. Blitz would be that be that big distribution, but who would they're not selling that many boards, right?
No, I mean,
are they selling more boards in your hometown? Are they?
No,
they're not even. No.
They're not selling boards. No.
How rad is that though? Like that a company that's not selling boards gets picked up by an American distribution.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Tony had been out to some of those like Münster contests or whatever, So I guess we had been on his radar, and I guess there'd been like footage in 4 and 1, like the world reports of whatever they were, that kind of stuff. I think there's one where we're doing some skating in Paris.
There's a big one, the industry section, or what is it? Yeah, was it the flip industry section where it's where it's like super young?
Yeah, that
Penny
was
switch frontside flips the Carlsberg gap.
The switch. Do you guys want to hear the story of that?
Yes.
No, we're good.
Is that what we're here?
We're good.
All right,
Anyways, yes, please.
So the switch frontside flip, Carlsberg gap, right?
The big one.
The big one.
Not the
flip
small
industry
one.
section.
Yep.
On film. Winco filmed it.
Oh.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That he had to come back for that.
Really?
Oh, he had tried it before.
Not because he didn't make it the first time, because he'd made it and there was no one there. So
okay, wait.
Basically,
No.
Here it is, right here.
Yeah.
Yes, that switch frontside flip, and apparently that one took him. I don't know if it was like 5 to 10 tries or something, maybe even more. He was struggling to get that one.
Wow.
But the story.
Okay.
And this is true. This is a true story.
Go ahead.
Me, Andy Scott were staying down at Tony's house, and somehow, Tom had come down. And we were like cruising around, like checking out, was it San Diego and like some of those, like the way he did the switch flip and all that kind of thing, and like kind of like the hallway. So we're down there like just checking out spots, and Tony had like let us borrow his dad's old car, like Ford Fairlane or something like that, and we're like cruising around in that. Andy Scott had a driver's license, I didn't have one. Anyway, so we go to Carlsbad High. What's it called? Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. Anyway, so we're like, oh yeah, okay, this is a spot. And wow, okay, yeah, Chris Markovich, and the kick flip, and there was like whatever. We're talking about all the stuff that'd gone down on it. There was a small gap and the big gap, and Tom's like, all right, fuck it. I'm here. So he throws one down. Ollie's down. Like whatever.
No filmer, no photographer.
No filming, nothing.
Just us three.
Just us three. Yeah.
No
just
way,
like
dude.
okay, like kind of like Baker Maker, like shoots out, doesn't really make it, and whatever. Oh, and then Tom like, oh, okay, well, not that big, whatever. And then like goes back, kick flips it, first try.
Wow.
No issue, just boom on his second jump down, right? And then I think it went something like it was like he had 2 attempts at a frontside flip, then made the frontside flip, third try. And then switch frontside flipped it first try.
No one there.
And this is just us 3, no one else there.
What are you thinking at this point? You've already witnessed this guy. You know his capabilities. He's Tom Penny.
Yeah, like
but
I was fortunate enough to witness Tom at his absolute best, and it was completely mind blowing. It's like there's no thought behind it. He jumped down that thing 6 times, and you got kick flip, frontside flip, and switch frontside flip. And there was no one there. And then of course we told Jeremy about it and whatever, like whenever we're like in contact with him, like whatever, a week later, and they're like, oh, we're doing this thing. So they like took him, wheeled him down there. Okay, Tom, you got to go back and do it. Going back. And Wayne Kill was there, whatever.
Wow.
So
that is probably the best switch frontside flip down something I've ever seen.
One of the best.
Yeah.
Can we go
I'm glad that came
Rob?
up because that story is just so.
Can we look at this?
Yeah.
Here, full screen that thing.
No, that's completely
this,
iconic.
Yeah.
So wait, is this the same day?
No, I wasn't there for the when they went down to film it.
Because it looks like he's wearing the same exact gear.
Yeah.
They were probably
Maybe that's his favorite shirt.
That's probably it. Yeah.
Wait a minute,
So they
look
were.
at this.
I forget what that downhill school is called.
Earl Warren.
I mean, I think that line's
insane.
Yeah,
it's
Earl
one of
Warren,
my
that's
favorites.
why-
The kick flip in it, like when he gets to the bottom, turns the corner, and then kick flips like
man.
whatever.
Just that switch 180
yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
Dude, when you get to the
But
bump
this
right
kick
there,
flip, he's like just like floating like 20 feet past the land. Like this is like he might as well not be a set of stairs there.
I mean, I don't think that people of our generation know about Tom Penny. I don't know if the younger generation knows how magical this guy was.
Oh, it was
it's
unreal.
like magic when you see him, watch him skate.
I mean, he's my like Gons or
Right.
like you know, like how some people have like the one, like
Right.
he is that to me. I've witnessed him do some of the craziest shit. And like, I mean, he was like, I mean, me being a transition skater or whatever, I mean, he would like do like frontside flip on like vert with no pads, like out the top, like
He was
when
all-
nobody could do that at the time. I mean, yeah, maybe Danny and Colin would be doing that kind of thing, but like most people, like nobody could do it, and he would just go and do it. Like,
Some
it
of
was
the
nothing.
I mean, some of his footage, he's just like, like backside flipping into a big quarter pipe and
Yeah.
like just stuff that you're
Oh,
just like you
yeah.
don't see. Like people weren't doing that kind of stuff.
The
back then.
Dallas.
think
that- was
the
that-
Dallas footage
that's
when
what it is?
when we're skating.
Into the
Yeah,
quarter
I was
pipe?
on that trip. Yeah, the backside flip into the quarter pipe at Phillips Skate Park or whatever.
I don't know
Yeah.
what skate park it was. I just know it's
nobody,
magical.
like you're saying, nobody was like flipping into transitions, and even like the TSA warehouse, the tiniest weird little mini ramp that they had was like a little mini ramp bowl
Yeah,
right there
yeah.
in Costa Mesa, and there was like a weird little like U pipe on it.
the one who switched frontside flips in.
Yeah, when you switch frontside flips into that little
yeah,
U
yeah,
pipe.
back
Remember
nose
that?
Oh my
flip real
god!
quick.
Yeah.
Nuts.
What is
Yeah.
that thing?
Yeah,
even?
and that was
Who
like
built
that was like a
Like,
regular occurrence.
That's
Like we'd go to him, Muska, and like whatever, and Angel or Miguel, like from TSA or whatever, and like Brazino and like those dudes back then, and like he would just do that every night. Like he'd just like, oh yeah, that was like that's just what he'd do.
The first 4-in-1 I ever saw was that it was a transition section. It was that section you're talking about where Penny has that little ending part where it's just that incredible footage is next
Yeah.
level, dude. That's so
Yeah.
cool.
Were you there for like the big chain section when he did
No.
the chain stuff?
No,
Okay.
That was another thing.
I mean,
That was
just-
like Rob and Weiss, and I think I don't know. That was like a sort of a PB.
We'll
type
get.
of vibe.
Yeah.
Was he like? There. Oh, here it is, right here. Wait, real quick here. Watch this. Oh, first of all, look at that kick flip.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Here's some vert.
Yeah.
He's probably going to do a sweet ass no slide or something.
Look at this kick flip.
Yeah, flip
Okay.
indie like it's nothing.
Oh.
It's got.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Look at that.
What?
Jeez.
Yeah.
So sick.
Like, is it just mind blowing? Like, I feel like
Yeah, what was it like when other people
Oh, that back nose one too?
you guys come in, all of a sudden the US starts seeing you guys kind of pop up.
Yeah.
Was that 4-in-1 like a really big thing for you guys at that time?
Um.
Like, was there a point where you noticed like a lot of people start buying flip boards and stuff like that because of something coming out?
Well, I mean,
would you even notice that because the company's selling the boards? You're not.
Well, I mean, for me personally, like when okay, so like I said before, like I came from like being pro, not making any money. Came to the States, then we're getting like $300 a month.
Okay.
Which is like, wow, this is great.
That's a
like
start, it's a start.
I'm making money, and they gave us a place to stay. We had a team house, the original flip house.
Oh, so you don't have to pay rent.
So we
Sure.
didn't have to
Good.
pay rent, and we, I had whatever that would $10 a day. right?
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
Basically-
That's a lot of money.
basically
I
that's a
mean,
per diem.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like that's a lot of money in '94. Whatever
that'll
that
hold you
was.
down.
You know,
Yeah.
like
That's
for
a couple
sure.
Taco
Yeah.
Bell meals.
Yeah,
Easy.
I mean, you'd get
You
like
make it
a
work.
like
and
a
you can put
like
the
a meal
quarter
deal.
in and get the little thing that falls in the water. You get maybe get it some free cinnamon twists.
You're not investing. You're not investing your money in that back then, dude.
Well, you're trying to win a free bean burrito or something. You know, the little thing you put in
Well, I
the
think
water.
like a Whopper meal would be like $1.50
Yeah,
or
there
something
you
like
go.
that. You know, back
Yeah.
then. So
Yeah.
So it was definitely like lasting a long way. Anyway, so I kind of feel like I seen the sort of like the company grow very rapidly, and I mean I always felt that I was in a way sort of like riding the coattails of Tom and Jeff's success. Like they were obviously the two most prominent guys out of our squad, you know, and their success was the company's success. So very quickly, I mean, this $300 like started, you know, becoming more money royalties like from Flip, and then there was like other sponsors would be happy to engage with us and do all this stuff, like started writing for Etnies and Volcom and all these like other companies or whatever. So yeah, it very quickly like grew.
Yeah.
Flip like started like really getting big, and I think like I mean, without talking too much shit on where skateboarding was or like American skateboarding at the time, I think like Tom and Jeff definitely like lit a huge fire underneath the U.S. skate scene. Like
sure,
they were
yeah.
like, we're here, we're ready to just go. Like
I
we
think-
we want to do.
I can agree
like,
with that.
Not only like I mean Jeff was going like big whatever,
Yeah.
but Tom was like just
Annihilate.
killing it everywhere. And I think that kind of like made everyone realize, whoa, hey, maybe, you know, like maybe we should get off the ledges a little bit. Like maybe we should like try to like jump down something. And it made skateboarding more exciting again, I think. And it kind of like fueled it a little bit.
There was a lot of stuff changing in the early '90s too, where like, you know, it was kind of like a perfect storm for like all these entities and companies to come essentially to California to make shit happen.
Right.
And it seems like that's what kind of Flip was mission was at that time.
Yeah, I mean, I think we were just trying to be a global company because being a European company wasn't working, you know. And then I mean 94, then you get to like 95, then X Games comes around, and then like, you know, slowly towards 2000, skateboarding's actually becoming more
Bigger.
and more healthy and bigger, you know?
Sure.
So that obviously helped us grow with it as well, you know?
When you started doing X Games and stuff, is that when you felt like you weren't riding the coattails anymore? Like you felt like you were actually like...
So you had your own lane on the brand.
Yeah, like you were like I have, like, this is my shit.
Yeah. Well, maybe I phrased it wrong. I mean, I didn't feel like I was riding the coattails. I just felt like their success became my success.
Right.
You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like
Yes.
I was part of this company that was becoming successful because of
Yeah.
that.
Right.
So to
You
speak.
can't
know?
count yourself out, bro. You're definitely a part of the process.
Yeah,
you know?
No,
sure.
100%.
I mean, and we had a sort of a diverse thing, and
Big
we're all
time.
from, you know, like different countries and all this kind of thing. And we started adding people, you know, so, but yeah, definitely. I mean, X Games and that kind of thing. I mean, I was lucky enough to be invited to the very first X Games and did it for you know, like 20 years plus or something like that every year.
Yeah.
So yeah, that, I mean, that definitely created something, I guess, some value for sponsors and opportunities and
Hell yeah.
things like that for my career.
That
Definitely.
totally stands for something, bro. 20 years and like consistency. Of, like,
Yeah,
oh,
dude.
the X Games. Are
I
you
mean,
kidding?
probably 12 plus medals, I believe. Like you had like a bunch.
I only
right?
got 2 gold medals though. That was such a
Bro.
fucking thing.
Only 2.
At least you got on that podium and got that goal.
Yeah,
that's right,
Yeah,
that's
no,
right.
no, I'm not complaining, but there was definitely some years where there was some maybe you know, some a sour aftertaste in your mouth,
Sure,
you know,
sure,
when Bob runs off with it again or whatever, you know, and all the respect.
Damn
I mean,
that
they're-
Burnquist,
yeah,
man.
you know, like
Ow.
they're killing it. I mean, they're so good. You know?
Were you at the contest where you did the fakie five
Yes,
kick flip
Philadelphia.
out? Bro.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah.
It must have been crazy
Oh
though.
wait. Oh, Are you talking about on the bar? The
Yeah.
fakie ollie?
Yeah.
Okay,
Fakie
that's San Francisco best trick contest.
Were you
I
there?
think. Yes, I was there.
Is it? I mean,
there for Tony's 900 too. I don't think that was the
Oh
same
my
year,
God.
but that was the 2 years in
Sure.
San Francisco. Yeah.
it must be rad though to see. I mean, these are your peers also, but they are literally progressing skateboarding in these contests. Like the
Yeah.
900, like went crazy. I mean, Burnquist's fakie nose grind or fakie 5-0,
Fake 5 fake flip,
fakie
in,
flip
yeah.
out
Yeah.
was.
Yeah,
nuts.
it's out of this world, and I think actually that was like first try or something. As well. That was it
No,
just
it
came
was
out of
dope.
nowhere. I'm pretty sure it was like within
Best trick, right?
Yeah,
That
it's
was
like
best
within definitely under 3 tries. I think it could have been first try. Yeah, I mean,
degree
He won
of
He won
difficulty.
that, right?
I
believe he
would
did, no?
think
Yeah.
so. Yeah, I think so. Unless it's the same year that Tony did the 900.
No, I
which
don't think so.
I don't
No,
So many
it was
things
a little
happening at
later,
the
I
same
think.
time.
It's the same place in San Francisco, right there by the bridge. I don't know.
let's see there.
It was a little while later.
Yeah.
The 900, I believe.
Yeah,
This is it.
yeah.
right
Here we go.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
That was
Jesus.
absolutely nuts.
And he's
And that's
pretty
a fakey
surprised
5-0.
himself too. You know, it's a frontside 540 bailout.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was incredible.
That was
Yeah, what does it say?
bananas,
Yeah,
bro.
okay, so that's the year after Tony did the 900.
After it.
Because Tony
Okay.
did the 900 in 99.
99?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
'cause
did it in 99?
Yeah, that's the story
Before
and the whole
2000.
thing.
Oh
like
my
it's like
God.
perfection. That's like the whole 900.
Look at this.
Yeah,
Oh!
that is just insane.
That was absolutely nuts, man.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, you've seen a
switch crooks like that?
stuff.
Yeah, Dubs, it's the same way Jamie did his figure
Yeah,
5
that was. Let's slow mo this. Real
No,
quick.
let's not even get into it. It was
I
saying
know.
to fun it, be funny.
Yeah. I mean, I think Bob's like definitely like one of these people that have done like some of the most insane stuff on a
Right.
skateboard ever.
Yeah.
Like,
That was fucking amazing,
Yeah.
regardless of what it is.
yeah.
Did you ever feel, because listen, at the early 90s.
It's not perfect. I mean, it looks perfect. But look where his front foot is. It's like his toes. He's way on the heel. His toes are hanging way off, and he's
Yeah.
just like Bob. He's
doesn't-
going,
but
he's
it's
not
so
even looking
Bob.
where he's going there.
But
You
it's
and Bob.
like, it's
Yeah,
so
yeah, like
Bob,
Bob
though.
making it.
It's
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
Bob. Like, that is Bob,
Yeah.
right?
Have you ever seen the one where he does like what is it? He does like some sort of like rail slide thing where he's like jumping over the mega ramp and does like some rail slide and like the board comes off his feet and he's like
Oh,
holding
yeah.
it in the with his hand or something. He's like board sliding with his hand and then he like throws it under his feet and he's
And
like
lands it,
riding
yeah.
down the mega ramp while he's knee sliding. He's like riding down the whole thing.
What?
Yeah, it's insane.
Did you ever mess with the mega ramp?
I've jumped over the gap, but the
What-
quarter pipe's just way too scary. And then I've seen
I
Jake
feel like
get
that's
hurt.
right up.
Oh.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
I was up there with him, like as he was dropping in. I was up
Really?
there, like at the very top. You know what I mean? You got this, and he was like trying that 720 and wasn't making it. And I was like, you know what? You got it. Just hang on to it. Like just keep holding on, and you'll land it. And he does it, lands it, and gets squarely in the flat. And I mean, you've all seen the clip.
We've all
Oh.
seen
Yeah,
it,
he couldn't
yeah.
control that. Man,
That's
crazy.
crazy. So, but I feel like it's right up your alley, though.
Yeah, I don't know.
You just never
It's-
got into it. It's also a
it's
hard
scary,
thing to
and
like
it's a-
practice on. You have to be.
Yeah, and the board's fucked up. It doesn't turn.
Oh, yeah.
You really got
big ass trucks and
Yeah.
long wheelbase, and it just, I mean,
That seems like it's something to get used to for sure.
Yeah, I can see how it'd feel good to do it, but
Yeah.
I think, well, at least in my later years, I've always like, well, not in my later years, always. In my later years, I have tend to gravitate more towards doing the stuff that feels good and feels right to me, and the stuff that I know that I'm sort of good at.
Yeah.
Like, because I mean, that's the best feeling that you get from skateboarding.
Totally.
Yeah.
You know, like to me, like doing a frontside ollie is like, or a backside tail slide. Like those are my two favorite tricks, I think. You know, and it's like, it's
You could do those
simple.
all day
It's simple.
and
You know,
be
when I was younger, I was like, I wanted to learn, you know, like every trick.
Sure.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Or like, I
It's
gotta
normal.
learn this and whatever, you know. Yeah, now it's like I just want to do the stuff that feels cool.
Yeah.
and I know flows when I do it.
Sure, sure.
That makes
Sure,
sense,
make it
for
feel
sure.
cool.
I mean, I'm sure. Yeah.
I mean, if you're flying in the air, but you're also flying in the air on a vert ramp too.
Yeah,
But-
I just I don't know. I just
these
never
people.
felt comfortable on the mega.
Yeah.
It's understandable, bro. That shit is no joke.
Yeah, wow, look at that switchbacks. I flip like that. Oh my God, dude.
Oh my God, he's just so weightless in the air right there.
Look at this.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That doesn't even look real.
It looks like snowboarding or something.
It looks like his feet are taped to his board there.
He just did a switchback side 180, no grab.
Yeah.
And it definitely looks fake.
Dude.
It looks fake.
Yeah. That was his go-to too. That was like the one that he could do every time was the
Wow.
oh, that's the frontside flip no comply looking thing.
Yeah.
Oh my
crazy
goodness,
crazy catch.
dude.
He can't do it with the side of
But
his
the
leg.
switchback 180, that was like his like
He
go
did
to.
it
That
that-
was like the easy one for
I
him.
remember him doing that a lot. And
Yeah.
it's impressive looking. I mean, to a street skater flying through
Wow.
the air, just doing a switchback 180.
Yeah.
Man, it looks
And realizing that
beautiful.
you don't even have to hit your tail. You're just
Right.
floating through the air.
I think the trick for those guys is, I mean, they're going so
Wow.
fast that they're actually using the wind resistance to their
Oh.
advantage. They're actually like pushing the board up into the wind. That's
Oh,
what's making it
interesting.
stick on their feet, which is pretty crazy when you think about it. Like that kind of gives it maybe some speed.
Yeah,
you know, like
Sure.
like when you have like. When you're a kid and you had the coin, you held it out the window.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
kind of like
I still
in
do
the- in
that
the
when I'm
car.
driving.
Yeah, okay. With your iPhone, right?
I'm just driving.
Yeah.
I still got my fingers out.
On Instagram.
So when you first move out here and it's like 95-ish, whatever, like, and you know, Tom and Jeff are skating street, are you joining skate sessions or just going off doing skate and vert ramps and just filming, doing contests, or did contests come later?
I would definitely like venture off and kind of do my own thing, but I would always like get involved and like street skate with those guys.
Yeah.
I used to hang out when Tom and Chad and Angel had that house in Newport Beach.
Okay.
I would be over there like every day pretty much and like going street skating with them, and you know what I mean, like and that was like when, you know, Penny and Muska was like, that was like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean, like they were like this, you
the
know, like
duo.
it was like they were like the so tight, so yeah, I mean, I would always try to get involved with that, and I mean, I think deep down I always wanted to be a street skater.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always liked what I do and my own abilities. I never felt like I was like the most gifted or a talented guy on a skateboard. I mean, I felt like I worked for it.
Sure.
And that kind of like, you know, worked to my advantage or whatever, that I had drive and all this kind of stuff. But I always wanted to really like be a good street skater and kind of like a tech one. I think, like, I mean, some of my favorite skaters, like Javier Sarmiento and like, you know what I mean? Like TX and you know what I mean? Like that kind of style of skateboarding just looks right to me. And I think like, that's why like when I'd skate vert, like I looked at Danny and Colin and what they were doing.
Yeah.
And like, it looked like they were skating ledges.
Right.
On, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They were skating street
on the ramp.
Right.
And that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted to do too. Like
Sure.
when I was skating vert, I was like, I want to like be mimicking what's happening in the streets. So I always street skate, always try to do it as much as I could. And I remember at one point, this is before we came to the States, Jeremy said to me like, yeah, nah, you're not very good. Like we'd skate Radlands and he'd be like, nah, dude, you don't know how to kickflip properly. Your tray flips suck, like whatever, you know what I mean? Like, but just skate vert. You can be the best vert skater in the world. This is like when I think like it'd probably be like Frazier and like Neil Hendricks and you know, obviously Danny and Colin, and like they were like the dominant ones, and he's like, just skate vert. You're easily as good as they are.
Right.
But yeah, my point being though, I was trying. I
trying
wanted
to-
to street skate.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that's
yeah.
what I wanted to
Entertain
do.
it.
And he was like, nah, dude.
But also,
you're never gonna be.
You're around the best street skaters
Yeah.
in the world
Right.
at that point in time.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I felt like I saw you in the early videos, like Transworld video, like you're skating, was it the YMCA? The ramp? Was it like a blue ramp that
Yeah,
was kind of
sure,
like,
sure.
it was
Yeah.
like, was that your go-to ramp back then, or where was your?
Yeah, I think like that was probably like one of the first ones that we sort of had access to when I came here, because it was a public ramp, it was a YMCA or whatever. But I think like it would have been maybe 95 or 96. Tony actually built the birdhouse ramp up in Costa Mesa. So I had access to that, and like he gave me the key, and it was like Birdland or whatever, and so that was kind of like the ramp that we had, and we skated up there
because they were few and far between, right? The ramps, like vert ramps back then,
for sure. But it was great. I mean, we had our own warehouse, and like I'd go with like Chad and Tom and whatever people and girls or skaters, Chad Vaught, and like all the kinds of, we'd just like go there and have parties and whatever. Like I had the key to the ramp. Like it was
would the Birdman come in and be like, what the hell's going on in here, Rune?
I didn't say you can do this.
But it was amazing. Yeah.
So
and then later on, Volcom built the ramp.
Okay.
So
they started to pop up.
Yeah.
Did you ever feel like that when vert was kind of dying? Did you ever feel like your thing's gone, or it's maybe you don't have a future, or
I mean,
there?
I've thought that many times, where I was like, I mean, I feel in a way that I in a way like try to maybe sort of reinvent myself a couple of times throughout my career.
Okay.
Like without it, like it may not seem like very obvious when you look at my footage and what I'm doing. But I think I've when I came to the States, I never skated pool coping. So like the footage that you saw there, like Chicken's Pool or whatever, that you talked about when Omar was on the show too. That was like one of the first. That was the first time I think I touched pool coping.
Wow,
was
really?
There. Yeah. So that was like one thing that I was like really inspired by coming over here. I was like, oh, skating pools and like transition, because I'd only really skated just like back and forth.
It's interesting, because I think your Saari part is just all pools.
So I would skate vert a lot, and then like I think maybe like very early on, like before all this like park series and like all this kind of like park skating was actually popular, I actually made sort of a conscious choice of not putting out a vert part for Extremely Sorry. Like my Sorry part, which is like 01, I think, is like has a little bit of pool stuff in there, and then like obviously like just all vert, like a lot of like tech vert or whatever.
Yeah. Were you scared of the vert button?
Yeah, for sure. I knew I was the vert button. I knew that was it. Yeah, of course I was.
But the pools changed it though.
Yeah,
right? It's like made it more like this is not like the vert button went away. The vert button, I don't think.
Yeah.
Well, it opened the dynamic of what you're looking at, right? Like you invert. When I was a kid, you're going back and forth. The park, there's a different aspect, like moving, right?
Well, when Extremely Sorry came out, which was probably only like maybe 4 years later, if maybe less than that, I made a conscious choice of being like, I'm not going to have any vert footage in there. I'm not going to have any footage with pads. It's going to be just like all raw concrete, like padless 540s and. Do I have any flip tricks? No, I don't know. Maybe there's no flip tricks or like whatever. You know, like it was just like more like this is kind of what I want my. Can we call it art? Skateboarding to be now. Like this is, and like in that sense, like trying to just go in different directions, so you're not sort of
pigeonholed into one thing.
Pigeonholed, and you're not becoming sort of stale, or like you know what I mean.
So
like,
you had this consciously in your mind of like,
for sure,
I'm not going to just do vert. I'm going to now do this for this video part. This video part, I'm going to do this, and like, let's switch it up a little bit.
Yeah,
that's right.
Not only for your own self, but for the general public.
Yeah,
it seems like you had both things in mind.
Sure.
Right.
So later on too, I think, like I talked about before, like I was like, well, I got to a point where I was like, there's no, I mean, as far as like contests and stuff, I mean, there's no point in like trying to compete with all these kids that are coming up. Like skate for you, like do what you can do, like do a really good frontside ollie, like do the stuff that you know how to do well, you know. I guess this is Extremely Sorry right here.
Yeah, this is Extremely Sorry. This was 2009, by the way. Extremely Sorry came out.
Okay, right, yeah. And so, I mean, I was going after stuff like this, which is like, never been touched grind
Yeah,
before.
where is
You
that?
know,
What is that?
this is that was in Phoenix, Arizona.
What?
Hey, what
and
is
it's in
it?
the
Yeah,
it's in
what, just there?
They show,
No,
like,
it's a
cars there.
Yeah, it was made for car commercials. It rotated. It's kind of like a huge studio backdrop.
Oh.
It's like a white cyc.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I guess people skated in Wheels of Fire, I think, Streets of Fire, one of
Back
those,
in the
like old
day.
Santa Cruz video.
Yeah.
But
People were skating
they're
it.
not going to the top.
They weren't doing that.
No, nobody had touched the top. I
You
think
got
the
a
only one
You
that
had a big
touched.
roll in right there.
Yeah, I think the only one that touched the top after that was Jaws, and he dropped in on it. And it's gone now. But I'd so I was like going after, sort of like more like those types of things.
Did
like,
you guys rent this thing out, or what? What's going on here?
No, and
Oh, you
that
guys
was-
brought scaffolding. You guys brought a
and that
roll
was
in?
like the thing about it was like when you're doing something like I was up on the thing and I seen like cops drive by and stuff, and there's like a retirement home right next to it.
Okay.
And so I was like, just basically thinking we were gonna get busted, but I mean they'd put on all the like yellow vests and
You
kind
made
of
it-
like
you made it seem
like
real.
the
Fitting-
street
try to fit
skating
in, right.
tricks, you know what I mean, so yeah, make it look like the real thing.
That's
So
wow.
actually this part is probably I'm pretty proud of this part.
Is that
I
your
think-
favorite part?
Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna be my favorite
What-
part, but there's definitely like a lot of good. Oh yeah, I guess there's a flip trick in
There you
there.
go.
padding.
No pads though.
Yeah,
No pads.
this is Orcas Island.
Do you have-
this one right here? Actually, I think
Oh,
that.
ouch.
Well, there's
Oh,
a
is
frontside there's a frontside grind, a big stand. This right here, I think this coping has never been touched ever. I don't think anyone's ever done
At
a trick on
time.
that.
Wow.
I don't think anyone's done anything since.
Yeah, I was
I don't
gonna
think.
say.
Yeah, I don't think.
Wow.
I've never seen footage of
Oh
anyone do.
my
I've seen people carving over it, but I mean,
pretty
Was this at a
impressive.
demo? What's going on here?
Put it in the comments if you.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Rune,
It's
look at
terrifying. dude.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
it's
terrifying, I guess. But
No pads.
I mean,
yeah,
who-
and that was the first try too.
The people who are listen. The people who are building that were probably like, "Wow, we're gonna put coping up here,
It's
man."
a grind.
We're gonna
It's a
see what
grind line
happens.
park. Yeah, so it's a full pipe inside. There's a full pipe in there.
That got a little sketchy right there, slightly, but I'm sure you had full control.
Yeah, it was definitely like a lot of relief when you're riding away.
Yeah,
Look
no
at that,
doubt.
man. That
Because
is
it's possible in your head, but you're like dead scared of it. You know.
Now, when you're doing something like that, are you thinking what is the safest thing to do on this? Like, is a 5.0
yeah.
the safest thing to do on that?
I wanted to backsmith it, but I was like, it's like a
Going the
little
other
bit.
way.
Yeah, but it's a little bit more of a sketchy. Like it's harder to come out of. Like the 5.0, you can kind of like balance it easier. And what I was doing, maybe I'm not gonna say I was cheating it, but you see how there's like a rail behind it,
Yeah,
or whatever.
the rainbow
So
rail thing?
what I'd do would actually like come at it with the same speed, and then like I don't know if I would grind up, but I'd kind of like ride out and get that feeling of like going over it and then into like that street course or whatever that bump
so you
is on
would
the other
ride
side.
that other one.
I'll just like ride up and out, and then like the one where I was like, all right, I'm
gonna go for
gonna
it.
fucking try it now.
Sure.
You just stay on the right side of it. And work
So
it
that
out.
was the safest trick. No Smith grind, no anything like tail
yeah.
slot.
I should have went back for the backsmith and probably
Yeah,
tried that.
yeah,
but
I see
yeah.
what
But you go into it like that little curvature.
Then you end up in
Let's
the,
look at this
When
again
you're
real
filming
quick.
for these videos, like most of the guys are out street skating. What's the sessions like for you? Are you on your own, or do you have a little crew? Do you go the spots with, or
sometimes I was on my own. I feel like, but yeah.
You skating with
I
like
guess-
Salba and everybody to find those pools and
yeah,
stuff?
yeah, for sure. I mean, Salba's got a trig in my sorry part. And
yeah.
Al Partner.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
and like,
legend.
I mean, Arto's in there ripping the pool. He's got a nose pick in there.
Dude,
and like Bastian's got that kickflip fakie.
That's right.
Was that
Yeah.
a
Yeah,
cover? Was that a cover? Maybe even a
The kick from Fabian.
Thrasher.
Oh, Bastion's no.
I don't know.
Because it wasn't even out of coping. It was like
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
transition. It wasn't.
I'm not
It was
sure.
definitely. I want to say it's definitely like
Really?
a prominent
Like a-
photo in Thrasher somewhere, like
I
of
don't
some.
remember.
I don't
But
know.
I know that was in your sorry part.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Isn't it amazing that Salba is still out there?
Yes.
Doing that.
Yeah.
Finding pools, skating pools, like.
I was skating with his buddy Ozzy the other day, and they had just like done a interview for I think it was like CSNBC or something like that, like the news, like
Okay.
the national news station or something like that. And they were like getting hit up and like talking about like these like well, we're like these 60-year-old men that are like out there like finding pools and like doing all this stuff, and
think
like
it was
the
the
Wall
Wall Street
Street,
Journal.
Wall Street
Wall Street
Journal,
Journal,
yeah,
okay.
it was the Wall Street Journal, and then they got hit up by like CSNBC or whatever that station was, or whatever.
After the fact.
Yeah, that was actually just last week. They were telling me that story. It's pretty
Would
cool.
you skate with those guys a lot when you were filming your parts, or other people? Like, who? Where were you finding these pools back then?
I don't know, just like word of mouth. But I definitely would go out with Salba a lot. Remy would help out
Remy
with that.
Stratton.
Yeah,
Oh,
Remy
yeah.
Stratton over at Volcom would help
Sure.
out with a lot of that stuff. And
You were on Volcom for a long time, huh?
yeah. I was I mean, I feel like there's Chet Thomas, Caswell was on before I was, but I was definitely like one of the first ones that rode that train for a long time. Before they got like Appleyard or like Durrell or like like some of the, like their big stars,
Like Rowley was one of the biggest ones at the beginning too, right?
Yeah, he got on after, and it was funny. Like they were actually like clowning me, but I was like, I saw it like I'd come to the States as like with just. This is well, like I said before, the American dream. This was my opportunity.
Who was clowning you?
I wanted. Tom and Chad and Angel, they wanted me to ride for TSA, so they were like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And like,
it was friendly clowning.
And Rowley would clown me for riding for Volcom. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
And
They wanted you on a more hardcore skate shit.
They were like, "Dude, we do as a fucking surf brand, like whatever, all this kind of stuff." You know what I mean? And
Volcom? They were paying you at this point. I assume.
and
you were showing them your pay stubs.
Rolly very quickly realized, maybe I should check that shit.
Exactly. Here's my pay stub, man.
Oh, the tides turn.
I remember
Exactly.
going to Huntington Skate Park as a kid. I was like, this is like 95 or something. And like seeing, I think I saw Rowley there, or maybe it was Dustin Dolan. And he had a sticker, and me and my friends were like, what the fuck is Volcom?
Yeah.
And we were we could never find stickers, but it was such a cool brand because of all you guys that would skate around there and would see it around. So that's an iconic company. It's like, They said it was a surf company, but that's some skate shit right there, dude.
Yeah, sure.
Well,
sure.
it is now. Back then you probably didn't know about it.
We built a good
because
skate team for
it was
sure.
Surf.
I would see Chet Thomas and those dudes, like they would rock it. So I was like, oh yeah, that was dope.
They built it out properly. They didn't do it like,
yeah.
So Remy would help you out with the pools, and
sure.
then Salba, and I'm sure. So, because I'm just trying to think back then, like who were the pool skaters that you were like really skating with?
Well, there weren't that many.
That's it.
They were like the older guys and the guys that weren't like really getting that much attention, like Neil Headings, or you know what I mean, like Sam Hitz and like Hewitt, and you know what I mean, like they were skating pools, you know what I mean, like they were doing what they loved and wanted to do, and I kind of feel like I tried to gravitate towards that and try to, in a sense, put it on the radar, make it popular a little bit, and I mean,
I think you accomplished it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say single-handedly, but I'll definitely say that I had a hand in totally. trying to make park and like pool skating and that kind of thing popular.
Well, you got to think like Vert died, and then pool skating's coming in, right? And you were one of the people that were like pioneering that for the new school generation of skaters. Like a lot of people weren't interested in that.
No,
they just wanted to go street skating. That was it.
Exactly.
You know,
and
look at it now. We're in the Olympics.
Yeah.
Well, skateboarding was the thing that was tough, I think, for a lot of kids growing up is that the skate parks like that weren't really accessible. Like,
there was none.
Yeah, there was no park skating type stuff around. It was only street parks.
All the parks that had bowls were gone.
Yeah, sure.
Were done.
Yeah, I mean, they tore it all down.
Time for sure.
Yeah.
So that was I was definitely like trying to
progress
do that type of skating as much as I could.
Sure,
you know what I mean?
Sure. And you had the dope sponsors too, dude. You were at Etnies. You had a couple shoes on there, right?
Yeah.
How much you getting paid on it? I mean, that's some good money back then.
Yeah,
bro.
it was good.
Yeah,
it was decent. It
So
was
you
like when Arto was sort of like the front figure and all that. But I mean, the one that I was the most. I mean, I've ridden for a few shoe companies or whatever, but Axion.
Yeah.
I mean, Kareem put me on Axion.
Bro.
I had a shoe on Axion, dude. That, I mean,
totally
that was
let's talk about
next to Gino and Guy Mariano. Dude,
Hold on. You were
I mean, I couldn't believe
stop
it.
Let's stop real
Super
quick.
rad.
Let's
I
pause the
forgot about
podcast. You were on Etnies and then you went to Action?
Yeah.
How did that go?
Oh, wait, no. Okay,
It was before.
No. So I came out. We came out. Then I was, not my proudest moment. I was riding for Airwalk for a minute.
Okay.
And then
Airwalk was cool, but then it wasn't.
Came out. Then Etnies Flow, I think. Then I got a kind of a big opportunity at Airwalk. More money. I think they did a shoe for me as well.
Okay.
And
That was a legacy company, bro. I mean,
Yeah.
especially at that
Yeah,
time.
But
I guess,
what year was this though?
this would be 95. Or something.
Airwalk
By that time,
wasn't.
By that time, it was.
Yeah, it was definitely on the way out.
Sure.
Like it wasn't the cool company at all. They did that shoe with Jason Lee, I think. That was still kind of like a decent shoe.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
sure.
It's a real clean, simple one.
Yep.
That was kind of cool. Anyways, so it went Etnies, Airwalk, and then I got on Action.
Okay.
And I'd actually
Wait, what happened?
What happened with Airwalk?
Please. Well, you had
Is that
two
what you-
shoes on Airwalk. I mean, no, on Etnies.
That was later. That was after.
That's
Action.
Flow. Oh, we went
That was-
back
that
to the-
went back
oh,
to
we're
Etnies.
talking from here.
But anyways, while
apologies.
I was riding for Airwalk, I wasn't really hyped on it. So I guess I actually ended up getting the slap cover of a No Comply that Lance Stars shot, and I was wearing Vans, old school, whatever. I think it's called the New School or whatever. It's like the classic, but they kind of beefed it up. So yeah, and then I
That'll
guess
do it.
So you got
know-
yourself.
They weren't too hyped on
You
that.
know that Lance Dawes is taking a photo of you.
Yeah.
Did you even?
I think like the Airwalk thing was kind of like
were
on the way
okay.
out, and there was I don't know, there was like I'm
sure it was
I think the guy shoot, what was his name? I can't remember the guy's name. That was
Like,
like
I didn't even get
heading
my
up the
box
brand,
that day.
but he was gone, and yeah, his name's Sin. No, what's his name? I can't really
Okay.
matter. But anyways,
But you were probably gone after that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Then I was
please.
gone, and I was pretty hyped on that cover too. I think that's probably
Roger's trying to find it right now. Was it No
Yeah.
Comply on
It's a
Slap?
black and white, yeah.
Okay.
And that was like,
What year?
I mean, 90s. It would be around 96, 97
96-ish?
maybe,
Okay.
yeah. But nobody was doing. What I think about is cool about it is that nobody was doing no complies, especially like on meter amps, like flying no complies. Like people can do them today, do them to tail slide and all that kind of stuff, but nobody was doing that at that time. And it was at that time, it was a super like old school trick still. Like it was like the no comply. That was like, I mean, it was back there with like the pressure flips and or whatever, even before the pressure flips and all that kind of like whatever, like real early 90s stuff.
Last person was Ray Barbie that was doing that stuff. And
yeah. So I was real hyped to see that end up on the cover. But yeah, and then I ended up on Action after that.
How did
And
that
I always
happen?
thought, well, I don't know, like
did you know Kareem?
yeah. I mean, I'd met him a few places, and I mean, you talked about it on Clyde's episode too. I mean, what a genuinely just fucking rad human being.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Yeah, that's
Kareem's
right.
like, yeah.
Straight up.
Just yeah. So I'd met him around. He's always happy, and I don't know. I guess he had my back. He liked my skating.
Yeah.
And
was that
so he
call, though?
yeah. I can't really remember, but I don't know how it came about. But yeah. So I was
Kareem
riding
is
for them.
infectious like that, bro. He definitely
Yeah.
once he take a liking to you, like that's like almost like a forever type of scenario.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Exactly.
I was on
Yeah.
Flow for Action when you were pro for him, and I
Oh,
used to
right.
skate all my early footage. Like,
Uh-huh.
think of my 4-in-1 section and like my sponsor me tape or gold wheels. I'm wearing your shoe most of all.
Oh,
of it.
wow.
And the shoe
Crazy.
was really good.
Yeah,
dude. Had a
cool.
big toe cap on it and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
That
Let's
was
check it.
sick.
Which
Yeah.
shoe was it? The
I might not be looking that good today.
we got to check it
I,
out.
I always skated the Aries.
Bro.
It was the later
yeah.
time of Action.
Yeah.
But like I would skate the Aries shoe, guy's shoe,
no,
and then I'd
Action.
skate.
The guy shoe was like that was like the super dope one.
That was the one.
But yeah,
Dude.
and like even like BA was on too. I think like
Yeah.
it was
He had
like
a couple shoes. He had
BA,
a few.
Guy, Gino, and Kareem,
Yeah.
and then I got on. And like, yeah, I mean, what a team to be a part of. Like, I couldn't believe it. I
What was
so
And
your
Brian
shoe-
Anderson, you know, I'm sorry, Mike Maldonado was there too. Was it that, or was he still there at that point?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he must have been on too. Yeah.
What was
for
your
sure.
pro shoe called?
Well, there's one called Stilton. It's a slang for Christiana in Danish. Staden. Staden.
Wow.
Okay.
I think it was. Yeah.
Is that
Yeah, that's
on?
funny.
That was on Etnies.
No, that was
Action.
my action shoe.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're trying to find it here.
Is that it with the toe cap
right there, Raj? Right there.
Wait, what are we looking at?
Is that it? Let's see. How do we get that in there? Let's check this out.
Yeah,
but that's it.
If I knew I was coming on here before, yeah.
I didn't have that one. Was that your first one?
I think that's the first one.
Yeah, that's definitely the first one.
It did have a toe cap though.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
That shit looks actually kind of tight.
Hell yeah.
It's not that bad.
No,
You look back at it.
But yeah, if I would known I was coming on the show
those,
when I flew out here, I would have brought a pair for.
You're good.
You have some back home?
Yeah. I have a
Good for
lot
you,
of different stuff. Like, I got like old like penny shoes and.
Oh, rad. Are you?
Yeah,
Do you hoard or no?
I hoard, but I'm not like a huge collector or anything like that.
Do you have all your boards? Like your like first board?
Not all of them, but I do have a big stack of them. Probably my most favorite thing that I have is an old Christiana soy board that was given to me by Christian's dad while Christian was in prison. When he, when he had to go in and go away, and we were all trying to, help Christian out and get him out of jail. And so I'd helped out with, I don't know, it was like $3,000 or $5,000 or something like that. Like helped out with a few $1,000s, and for the lawyers and everything. Sure. And I guess Christian's dad comes over, like it was on my birthday or something like that, and like he came over to my house and like whatever, and we're hanging out and drinking beer, and I guess he like brought this old like Hammerhead. I think it's like a Hammerhead mini, and it's got the original shrink wrap, which is almost broken. It's got the original shrink wrap on there. It's like a yellow one, Hammerhead, and it even has like the, I think it's like it's an NHS, but I think it says whatever, something else on there, but it's like the certificate or whatever, paper label inside there.
Damn.
And if you're out there and you're a collector, don't hit me up on Instagram because I will not sell it.
How much do you think something like that goes for?
I don't know. I haven't looked into it. But it's original, but it's not in like mint condition. Like the paint's like flaking. It's like a full dip yellow.
It don't matter, bro.
What
happened with Don Brown just recently? He just sold like something.
He sold his for $25,000. But he had a Rodney Mullen old school or like a freestyle board. And someone hit him up for
$25,000.
$25,000.
So like, okay, you get hit with that.
And mine has a story behind it too. Like,
you get hit with that. How are we looking when you get hit with that?
That's a good DM.
Yeah.
You still wouldn't do it?
Nah.
Damn, that's pretty good.
This is the board we're talking about right here, right?
Yes. No, I feel like
there's been so many
I feel like
renditions
he's
of the
doing like a method on it or something like that. Like I mean, it's an original from like the 80s, and I think it's a mini.
Oh, okay.
It's like pretty tiny.
There's been a lot of renditions of the Hammerhead. So.
Yeah.
Here we go. What about this one, dude?
But no, it's not that one either. No. But it was closer to the other. It looked closer to the other.
We're gonna find it. Anyway, we're gonna find it. I want to know how much this thing's worth, man. But that must have been
I hope Christian's not watching. Maybe he wants it back.
So Pops Soy comes to your house.
Yeah,
you're hanging out. He gives you this board
because I was helping out with some money and stuff.
I mean, now that is your most prized possession.
Well, as far as like what I have in my skateboard collection, I mean, all my own stuff's cool, but it's me.
No,
it's like, and it's like I've saved it, and it's like, but it's like, I mean, you don't like take it out and like, hey, you know what I mean? Like
I do all the time. Myself, I take it out every day.
Yeah, you just sit there and like watch it like one night, like
watch it.
Put it right next to my bed.
Yeah.
On my
so I don't know what I'm doing with all that stuff, but
it's just cool to have. Though.
Yeah, I guess. I guess.
It's definitely cool to have, bro. It's like a part of history. It's part of your history too.
Yeah,
you know
sure.
What I mean?
I have a lot of the video games too, like all the old video
Tony Hawk stuff.
Yeah, I got all those.
How did that come into play? Because through Blitz and knowing Tony and skating his ramp and having the key and all that stuff?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I mean, he would know better.
Was it he chose all the characters?
I think so.
Oh, yeah.
I just found out this the other day because I watched actually his podcast with Costin.
Okay.
And I just saw on there that Costin turned down an opportunity to be in the first game. He's like, nah, I don't want to be a part of it.
Come on.
Yeah, but then he was part of the second one or whatever.
He's so kicking himself.
Anyways, but yeah, I don't know how Tony came up with that list, but I mean, I feel very blessed and lucky to be a part of that. That was a crazy
you were in like
thing.
the first 5, I believe.
Yes, yeah. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 through 4, and then that was I think
The
it was the
underground
underground.
thing. Right,
Yeah,
right,
and
right,
then
right.
and then the reissue that came out, like, which was like Tony Hawk 1 and 2, which got reissued with new graphics and stuff. Which
That's
was
right.
Like
Just not that long.
3 years ago or something.
Yeah.
A couple
But
years
I mean, the pay. I've heard that the paychecks for that, the first couple ones, were really good, and then after that, they kind of washed out.
They didn't realize what they
Oh
like
my
how
God.
popular it'd be. So yeah, the royalties on the first one was insane, and the second one even, and I think like even at like Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3, we'd still be getting royalties
Stuff.
from the first one.
Oh god.
Yeah,
That's
and
so
it was
sick.
it was. I mean, the Reynolds. I think was it on here that he like
said 160,000 or
yeah,
something.
there was definitely some like what is it,
Checks like that?
6-figure checks that would come.
Wow.
Like, where you're
They're just showing
and it wouldn't be like once a year. It'd be like,
multiple.
oh,
times.
here's one. Oh, 2 weeks. Oh, there's another one. And then like, whoa, here's a big one. Like it was crazy.
Is that the most single checks you've gotten in your career, or have you gotten some off energy drinks, or what? I mean, what like that's a big amount of money, man.
Yeah, it probably was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. It's definitely up there.
Probably unexpected.
Yeah.
I love
because you
big
don't know
chunk.
what the outcome's going to be when you're first doing this. You're just like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, I'm going to be in the video game, Tony Hawk game, great. And then like that first check comes and you're like, wait,
Yeah.
what the fuck is
Well,
this?
it was based on like
life-changing.
it was based on numbers, like $250,000 sold, then it'd be this much, and then it was like increments.
They were
and,
giving you a royalty
Scaling.
deal.
it would I don't know if they sold like whatever 8 to 10 million, and it was different game systems too. So there was like
Yeah.
Nintendo, Sega, or I forget what they're all called.
so many.
And then I'm
different-
sure after that,
PlayStation.
I'm sure after that they're
Yeah.
like, you know what, the royalty deal, we're just going to give you one lump
Yes,
sum,
yes, that's
and
what
we'll
it
call
is.
that a day.
But even
How
I
can
mean,
you still-
but even more blessed. I mean, again, Tony's done a lot for me, and I'm super hyped for him. Like, I mean, the deal that he got a percentage of that whole company that blew up, and I mean, they're like Call of Duty and like whatever, all these other
Bro,
crazy companies.
under
So I
that
mean,
umbrella,
he's like
for sure.
so deserving of everything that he got out of that whole deal. you know?
Wait,
I
hold
asked
up,
him-
real quick. Did he get a part of other games? Is that what you're saying?
I think he's got a
Activision?
part of the company, Activision.
Activision.
Like I think,
Wow.
He didn't say
Yeah.
that. I don't know for sure. I don't really understand.
or maybe he bought the stock himself or something. But that stock went
No.
like through the roof too.
Yeah. I
Like
asked him,
like, and that game like put him on the map. Like that the Tony Hawk game is the reason why
yeah.
they were able to develop all these other really
100%.
successful games.
I asked him on the show. I said, "Listen, how much?" I was kind of joking, but he did answer. I said, "How much did you get paid off the Tony Hawk game?" Did you hear that one? He said that
I can't remember.
he
first
met
check.
with his agent or whatever, or the guy who was in charge of that game.
Yeah.
And says, "Well, the game's doing a little bit better than we expected."
Right.
And at lunch, he gave him a check for $4 million.
Yeah. Yeah.
One check.
Right.
I mean, this is just the beginning.
Yeah.
This is just one check.
But didn't they try to offer him a big check too, like maybe like $1 million or something like that for the whole thing? But then he chose the royalties
I'm
over that
sure.
and was
Yeah.
like,
I can see
That's
something
a
like
smart
that
move.
happening.
Good for
yeah,
him.
yeah.
That was the case.
That's
was
the
a smart
smartest move
Yeah,
you can
ever.
make. But $4 million. I
Yeah.
said, do you take that to the ATM? Do you just go to Bank of America and deposit that? Like, what do you
Yeah.
do with that check?
yeah.
Did you notice other than the money aspect, did you notice anything else different in your life after that game came out? Like people noticing you in different ways? Like,
Well, everyone like I had the special move, the cry stare.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just gonna let it out of the bag right now. I'll let everyone down. I've never done a cry stare in my life. That was
the
my
cry stare? But that was Christian Asoy's
Yeah,
shit.
that was like an ode to Christian Asoy.
Okay.
So everyone always said, "Oh, do the cry stare." Like,
Why
whatever. So
can't you do a
that's
cry
one thing. I don't know. It goes back to what we talked about before. It's just doesn't feel right to me.
Yeah, but
It's not.
have you
it's
done
not a
have
very
you,
pleasing
have you-
feeling trick. Like
have
the
you-
boards off your feet, it's flapping when you put it back on. Like it's not like.
I
Have
can
you done a
imagine.
cry stare?
Actually, I
No,
could
I've never done one.
never tried one?
I've tried one, but I could feel that it was
He's
like
like, this
this
don't
is
feel right.
not my thing.
I love that you have the I mean, a lot of people, I don't know. They don't have all do their special moves. Some of the special
the
moves
Fandango,
are
is that
crazy.
called? I don't even know what that is, but as he said,
Oh, it's that 1 foot on the nose and your back foot's off.
He did do it. There's a photo of him.
That's right. Yeah, there is a photo of
The
that.
photo means it's real.
You haven't seen the photo?
That was not.
That was old. Come on.
Isn't it an S ad or
It was
something?
it was
It was
a
that girl ad.
Oh, it was a girl.
It seemed like it was like a mess up.
It
Like,
was.
I heard we tried
It made
nollie when he
sense.
switched crook. I think he tried nollie when he switched crook and then bailed.
Jumped out of it.
Yeah, he's got one foot on. The other one,
Yeah.
it's like on a roller skate going down or something.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's
and then of course, I mean, there would be the like the non-skaters, like the supermarket, and they'd be like, "Oh, wait, you have like you pay with a credit card," and they'd be like, "Oh, you have the same name as this person, this skater, or
video,
whatever." Kind of like whatever, you know, like, yeah, okay.
Isn't that funny?
Like, that kind of shit, you know. But I guess skaters were into it too.
Yeah.
You know, like
For sure.
It was a big game, man.
Big
Yeah.
time.
I played it for sure.
yeah, for sure.
So you picked the Christ Air as a homage to Christian Soy.
Yeah,
You didn't want to.
I think
like,
that's why I picked it, and I was
okay.
like, they were like, "What tricks would you like?" I mean, we'd go in and we'd be like, "Oh, what kind of clothes you want to wear?" and all these kind of things. I mean, obviously the graphics were pretty shitty back then, but I mean, I thought that was like pretty good for the time, you know, like, and you'd pick like, you know, like whatever sort of clothes that you would, you know, want to wear and all this kind of thing, and then we'd be talking about tricks, you know, special moves or whatever. And I think I had the Christ there, and then later on, or I had like one that was like a kickflip tail grab, but like a kickflip 1 foot tail grab. So you'd kind of like hold the like you just like kind of catch it on the back foot, like the tail grab on the 1 foot. And then,
So you switched out. You switched it out.
I think the Christ there stuck with me. Yeah, that was still my move. But
Okay.
throughout the games, they would add more maybe or something. Yeah,
Man,
but
took the
anyways.
Christ Air from Christian Soy. Look at you.
Took it
I've
around
never
with
done it in real life.
Took his board and his trick. Shit.
Look at Rune right here, bro. Come on.
Oh yeah, that's from the latest one. Yeah.
That's a remastered one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's actually a graphic that my homie did back home.
Sick.
And that's like a Copenhagen skyline down there in the corner, just like kind of like a cool little night sky.
That's
So
The graphics
yeah.
have
Oh, I
come a
think
long
I think
way.
actually the eye and the flip logo actually probably says Copenhagen too. I think,
Yeah, I
but
think it does.
yeah, but yeah. I've always been super proud of where I'm from, and you know, like now that I mean, one of you mentioned Copenhagen Open earlier, and like now that we're getting so much attention and play, yeah, it's just great to see. Because I mean, when I grew up, we didn't have like really a lot of skateboarding. I mean, the scene was super small. All the streets were like cobblestone and stuff like that. We didn't have street spots. A few little skate parks, like jump ramps and like, you know, slide boxes or whatever, you know, flat bars and that. But now it's like we have spots, and the city is real supportive, and actually supporting like a lot of like smaller little skate spots.
I love that.
And
I
yeah,
love Copenhagen,
yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Hands down. I mean, I think
I've
you
never
guys
been.
have never been.
I've never been.
I want to go.
Bro,
so
it is
bad.
one of the best cities as far as like, you don't need a car. You get in a bike and you can just cruise around to skate spots, and just like it's super dope. I
Yeah.
love that city.
Yeah.
Hands down. And then Christiana is definitely a little sugar on top.
Yeah, for sure.
What is it? A strip club out there? No.
No,
It's like
hey, I don't think I would be speaking so carefree like that.
It's a little sugar on top.
No, it's a spot where, I mean, you could probably explain it better than me, but
Well, it's an old hippie commune within the city of Copenhagen. It's an old army base. It got taken over by hippies I believe in '71, and the government just kind of like let it ride, and now it's a place where you can go and enjoy yourself, and
No rules?
buy weed, kind of
Yes.
like no rules.
Okay.
Yeah. You can buy weed there and things like that. But there's besides the weed and all the stuff that goes on there's a lot of really cool culture and stuff behind it.
Would you say it's kind of a touristy place now?
Yeah, it is now. I mean, I definitely think that it had sort of a better vibe, like around, the time when I left, like back in the 90s, like early 2000s. It was it's a lot more calm and cool. But there's still lots of, I don't know.
We just have to go.
You're not supposed to label people these days, but it's just hippies or alternative people out there. You know,
Sure.
Interesting people, and it's super sick. And there's a lake out there. Ooh. I mean, they have a big sort of venue that's like a big sort of like open warehouse. And back when I was a kid, some of the local kids out there that grew up out there would skate. And so my friend Benjamin Dexter Gordon, son of the great jazz musician, Dexter Gordon, him and my other friend Anton, like they would actually be able to, like, we would borrow this warehouse whenever there was like no concerts playing, and we would like build all these ramps. We had a vert ramp in there, and it's like a venue where, like, I mean, I've seen like the Fugees play in there, and like there's like all kinds of like
you have to break the vert ramp down when they're gonna have an event?
Yeah, like they would let us just like whatever, just go crazy in there. So it's like just just let your kids be kids and fuck around in there and whatever. So there's a lot of cool stuff happening out there.
Copenhagen.
You guys heard of Villa Vesta, obviously.
What is it?
Villa Vesta?
No.
Villa? Palace? Come on.
Villa, he's on our wall, dude.
Right Palace and Nike.
Maybe
I'm not saying it the American way.
Place or something.
Yeah.
No.
I thought you were talking about some spot or something.
Well, Villa grew up out there.
He did.
So his parents lived out there.
I gotta tell you,
he's grown up there his whole life. So yeah, it's a definitely like a great place in
Copenhagen. I mean, just the Copenhagen Open and stuff. Like, just it's such a. I've never been. I want to go so bad, but it looks like that is skateboarding, right?
Yeah.
A bunch of skateboarders
so fun, man.
in the streets, setting up these spots and just skating and having the best time ever, man. It looks so.
It was fun prior to that when it was just the contest over at the little place that
at
they had it
Copenhagen
at.
Skate Park, the indoor.
And then when they built on and it like built on the contest and started, traveling around, your people are riding by. It just turned into such a cool event.
That's how the Olympics should be, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
for sure.
For real.
The culture is pretty mellow out there, huh? They're not that strict.
Yeah, I'll say like our government's definitely not as cool as it used to be. But it's definitely like
I think
it's very chill. I mean, we got all the whatever, like free healthcare, free schools, and all. I mean, I guess as most of the Scandinavian countries, we're considered to be socialists. So I mean, everyone's pretty taken care of, I guess.
Sick.
Like if you don't have a job or whatever, and like if you're not well off in whatever way, the system will
they cover
try
you.
to catch you.
Yeah.
A lot of like, it's getting too political, but a lot of like bailout packages throughout COVID and all that.
Okay.
Yeah, just. Yeah.
Who did you vote for? No, when we, speaking of Copenhagen, and the Copenhagen Open, we could turn this political if you want. Listen, no, but you've done a lot of architecture work with skateboarding parks and stuff. You did one in Copenhagen, along with other places too. You've worked with like other architects or something.
Yes.
Tell us what's going on there.
Well, the skate park that we saw earlier, the old one that I told got refurbished in 2011 when I moved back, I kind of consulted on that a little bit, like sort of just for free, just because we'd had some other skate parks that had gotten money and other architects had like just wasted the money. Shit skate parks with
is this
people
one of
designing
is this
it.
One of them?
This is that's Copenhagen. So I helped on the design on this.
Okay. You love that oververt part, don't you?
Yes, it's fun. So that's kind of how it all started for me. Like just making sure that we would get a skate park that would work and they weren't wasted, because we got big budget for this skate park. And I mean, it's not just what you're seeing right here. I mean, there's a great street course, and the guy who designed the whole place, Soren, who unfortunately passed away now, did a great job on the whole space. And I was lucky enough to collaborate with him and kind of consult on doing the bowl stuff.
Awesome.
So yeah, we have a world-class skate park
How
there
tall
now.
is that bowl?
It's probably about 11 foot or something, but then it's got that oververt, which is taller or whatever.
It seemed bigger than that for some reason.
Yeah, but anyway, so that's how I kind of got started with architecture and designing stuff, and then my friend or my partner Ebbe had a few projects of his own, and he kind of brought me on to consult him and help him out, and then I think it was in 14 or something like that we started a company together, started getting more serious about it, and we've done projects in like Amsterdam and Germany, Norway, and obviously like a bunch of smaller and some big ones in Denmark too.
Is this government stuff? Do they say, hey, we need something here, and then you kind of come in and design a skate park, or is it?
Yeah, mainly. There's. It sounds super fun to design skate parks, and it is in certain aspects, but there's also all the bullshit that goes with it. All the meetings and certain ways that you gotta have to do stuff. Sure. But I think like one of the bigger projects that we worked on was with Kooky Architects, which is another Danish company, and that is actually, I guess you could call it the longest skate park in the world. It's like half a mile long.
What?
Whoa.
And I guess it's a ditch.
Okay.
So it like picks up rainwater from all the area. So it's like a big park that runs through this brand new neighborhood that they were building.
It's a multi-purpose.
Yeah. So there was these big apartment buildings going up. It's like 1,400 new homes, like apartments or something.
Okay.
So they built like a really long sort of park, with like grass,
like a snake
and
run
basketball or whatever. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So to pick up all the rainwater and all the excess rainwater, with all the climate changes and everything, all this sort of ditch we made that skatable with this company Kooky.
They had it there.
No, we designed it.
Wow.
We designed it. Yeah.
Okay.
So me and Ebbe was just designing everything that was going inside this ditch. So it's really inspired by skating the ditches out here and stuff,
Are there ledges there and stuff like that?
There's some stuff, you can sort of like skate in and out of the ditches. Okay. There's like paths for like cycling and walking and all that all along it. So there's kind of like little like wally options in and out of the ditch and stuff.
Does it look like a skate park?
We try not to. I mean, just because it is a skate park, but technically it's not. So, there's no flat bars and none of that standard stuff.
You gotta go by some sort of code kind of, right, too? Like building
sure.
it?
And there's a lot of like form language with like Kooky that they want to see. They're like, oh yeah, we want to introduce like 3 different materials or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, so like all the sharp edges, we want to just have like a little bit of metal in that. And so you can't like, in certain sections, like, we can't introduce coping into this section because the form language doesn't allow it. Kind of, you know what I mean? So sometimes
you get around everything.
You kind of getting pigeonholed a little bit sometimes into doing certain stuff that you're not just thinking about skateboarding and how things would skate, but also like how they look. Okay. And I've learned so much from that stuff, and it's super interesting. And it's super cool.
It's rad that you've had the opportunity to help out. Not only Copenhagen, but a lot of other places, surrounding areas too, with skating.
Yeah, for sure.
Build it up.
The hardest, what sucks about being in that position to do that is like you're never going to please everyone. That's the toughest part. So
sure.
So you get the sort of the wrath or the negativity.
You should have did this.
Yeah. Exactly.
As long as you're happy, you could go rip that place.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that ditch spot is, I'll go have fun and you know what I mean? And it actually brought out a lot of like older skaters too, because they can go and like cruise around or whatever. But like for me, it's not anything that's like that great for me. There's a pool there too, to like, like hold excess water, like all the water flows all the way through it,
Right.
And then it actually goes to, organic reservoir down at the bottom, meaning like a grass reservoir, and they can actually pick up the water from there and pump it back up and water all the grass all around.
There you go. Very kind of self-sustaining type thing.
So there's great engineering and all this
Love
kind of
that.
stuff. But that's, I mean, all this kind of stuff is like super cool to, you know, to be looking at skateboarding and opportunities like this in a whole different way, and like changing the cityscape and like how we look at it. And I mean, I just saw that, I mean, I haven't been there, but how cool is that new spot up in San Francisco that they just got?
City?
Like, you know, shit like that is, I mean, that's my dream, is to be able to do stuff like that. And that's a similar thing that we did down there, although it has a completely different form language or whatever. But we did something. We made something that's already supposed to be there into something that's more skatable, and it creates a more sort of like a living space. You know what I mean? Like you're creating spaces where you're not really just like, they feel safe even, you know, like if you're like walking home. Yeah, this is one. This is actually before it finished.
Okay.
And all this concrete is all built by a Danish company too, FSR, and they're all skateboarders. Learned most of all their stuff from the Grindline guys when they came out and built Fellow Parking for us, which is like the one we were talked about at first.
Sure.
So this is that just keeps going. That's the big Metallica, whatever.
This is half a mile long.
There. Yeah, it keeps going. Then it goes over to this other section, whatever. This is before it's finished, so it looks a lot nicer now. You can see.
But we can get the gist of it.
Yeah, sure.
A little double set
And
right
then,
there.
Yeah, and then it kind of goes into a little bit more of a tranny thing. So here's a little bit of a sort of like mini ramp sort of vibe, and there's a pool down there on the right.
Wow, dude.
Okay.
So that thing, does that thing get filled with water all the time then?
I was going to say, if it's a drainage thing.
It does take water
when
sometimes.
it rains.
Yeah, sure. But I mean, the water is supposed to run through you. And what you see in that big building in the back behind me right there is that's a brand new city hall.
Oh.
So it's like, I mean, they put skateboarding front and center in this brand new neighborhood that they just built.
And where is this? Right outside of?
This is like you can take a train from Copenhagen Central, get there in about 20 minutes.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I can drive there from my house in like 20, 30 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Is there any part of it that kind of always stays dry, or is it always kind of, if there's water, you're kind of like, you can't skate there?
The pool should stay dry.
Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely the chances that there might be water. Because again, it's made to skate, but it's not made for the sole purpose of skateboarding.
No, for sure.
And all those, all that development that you see in the background, those are all like beautiful apartments now that people live in with like balconies and like looking at, you see all the balconies back there, you're just like looking out at this beautiful skate park.
That's
and,
awesome.
park for your kids and whatever. So
I love this type of stuff.
FSR, a great skate park company. Some of the homies from back home, and their work is really good.
I love the fact that even if it's designed for skating and drainage, but I love the fact that it's just kind of like, it's a needed thing. Like we're talking about the San Francisco thing. It's like a person could walk through there with no skateboarders and not even know that thing is designed for skateboarding.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and I love that, man. Because it doesn't take much to make a skater happy.
Right, exactly.
You give us a couple ledges, a couple little banks or whatever, we're good.
Yeah, I mean, usually people try to work it the other way. They skate stop everything, you know what I mean? Like, and then it's like, okay, so what happens at 5 o'clock when all the office heads go home? Then you just have like this dead, like really sketchy type of place. You don't want to walk through downtown on your own at night or whatever. I mean, skateboarders there, like
point.
they're, making something. I mean, people may think that skateboarders are hoodlums or whatever, or dangerous people, but like we're actually
they're keeping the dangerous people out.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and look at Burnside or places like that, where it's like people have like kept that place like, so great and clean and no drama. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I think
something out of nothing.
Yeah. So I think like it. Yeah. If you're not afraid of skateboarders, it's going to make you feel more safe that there's actually people in that space that you're walking through. If you're a young girl walking home at night, or whatever.
Right. Well, congrats on all that, dude.
Yeah,
that's amazing stuff.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, so it's a little something I do on the side.
I love it.
I still try to skate as like my main thing.
Yeah,
as much as I can.
Speaking of skating, can we go back to some early flip times? Because like when you guys came out here, it was you guys, it was you, Jeff, Tom,
and Andy.
And Andy.
Yeah.
when they started adding more people in, Bastien comes along, and like, are you meeting these guys for the first time when they're coming out to like the States? Or how does that all go when you're starting to film for a video? You go on trips? Like, when are you starting to meet all these new people they're putting on? Or are they asking you, hey, we got this guy?
Yeah. Well, actually, it's more like, I mean, I'll take credit for Ali and Bastien.
Okay.
And partly Arto. So I met Arto at home, and there was an event there, and I was home one summer after being in the States. Like I lived in the States. I'd go home every summer when it was nice there for like a month or something. And there was an event there. Arto was there. So I told Jeremy and them about him. Like there's this kid, and he also skated whatever the Münster contest or Dortmund or whatever it was right after. So so he got put on. But I saw Boulala for the first time. Another trip, probably the year before, or maybe 2 years, maybe 95, 96. I went up to Stockholm one summer when I was home, and met Boulala up there just randomly, and we hit it off, and I was like, probably like maybe 5 years older or something like that. I mean, he was young. He was probably about 13, 14 or something at the time. And so we took this trip up to Finland, where he's part Finnish too, and there's a skateboard event up in Finland. So went up for that, and skated with him, saw him. He was great. Just thought he looked like a complete natural. And when I came back to the States, I told Jeremy about him. And I was like, yeah, there's this kid in Sweden. He's fantastic. He looks like he was like super into Mike Carroll, and you know what I mean. Like
he kind of looked like Penny almost at one point, right?
Yeah. Well, he got his Penny face was kind of after, but he was like really into Mike Carroll.
Oh, okay.
And he just had this like he could skate switch as well as he could regular too. Yeah. I guess he'd like stopped skating for a minute, and then when he picked up skating again, he was like riding the other way or something. Like he was like regular footed, but then like he started skating again and he was goofy. But yeah, so I told Jeremy about him, and then I guess like he just happened to come out to the States, like maybe like about 3 months later. He came out to the States, and we ran into him at some like Triple Crown event at it was like at what's that place? Not Triangle Square. One of those like Orange County malls.
Oh, the Block.
Not the Block. No, no, not South Coast Plaza. There's the third one. That's like a little further.
Fashion Island?
Fashion Island, I think, yeah. So there was an event down there, and he rolled by with some of his Swedish friends. And I told Jeremy, I was like, he's here. Like, you gotta, like, and then Jeremy went and like saw him at Huntington Skate Park or something like that. And then like, he got put on. And they thought he was great. And
so you had your hand in a few people.
And then another trip. I don't know when that was, but that would have been probably 98 or 99. Went to Marseille, not for that big like Quicksilver event or whatever, but like another event down there. And I saw Bastien, and same thing. I think he was about 12 or 13 at the time. I mean, he was tiny little kid, and those like BMX like box jump thing, like the big transition flat to the bank or whatever, that was like maybe like 7 feet tall or whatever. He would go at that thing like full speed or whatever full speed was to him, like really like go at it, and then he would just like launch off the corner jump ramp style, like way overhead, and like just kickflip to flat literally every go. And I was just like, dude, this kid's amazing. What is up with him? And then same thing, got back to the States, told Jeremy about him, and I think they had they started put out a word or like reached out to V7 or whatever, V7, which was like the French distributor out there. I think they had him on flow for some other company or whatever. But I think they contacted them and somehow asked if we could get him on Flip. And he got on, and I mean, a couple of years later, I mean, Saari came by, and I mean, this is the kind of shit that he could do, like just like fucking around like that. And he was a funny kid, charisma. I mean, he was a great DJ. He could scratch.
Okay.
He's he'd already been French table tennis champion.
Oh, really?
Like 11 or something like that. Yeah, I mean, Bastian's one of those kids that
Good
just
at
like,
everything.
Yeah, he just picks it up. Whatever he gets into. I mean, he picked up the guitar for about a year or whatever, and like next thing you know, he's like playing like whatever, like BB King and what. I mean, you know.
I remember people tripping on this kid.
I was definitely
Yeah.
tripping
A
on that.
lot of
Yeah.
people like, who? What is that? How?
And he had that thing, you know. I mean, he'd go and win. I mean, he won the world championships and whatever. And like, I mean, I'm sure he got a lot of hate from all that too. But he'd like own it. Like he was like the first one to like
Put his
Celebrate.
hands up.
Oh yeah,
throw his
celebrating.
hands up.
I just killed
look
that
at the
shit.
look at the crowd and whatever.
Totally.
And he's like 14 when he's doing that stuff. You know what I mean?
It's funny because I think
so
he
he
did get
definitely
a
had the
lot of
confidence.
He
He
did get a lot of shit for
Yeah.
it, but you couldn't deny what he
Nah,
was doing
you
in
couldn't,
those
for sure.
contests. Though it was phenomenal.
His confidence was insane. Like I think maybe Ewan told me the story or something like that, and they were like, I don't know which it'll be in this, I think, but he does like this big kickflip front board up in
San Francisco.
Oh,
in San
yeah.
Francisco. I forget which
I think that's his
rail it
last.
is. I don't know the name of the
that's
spot.
his last one.
Yeah, and
This one
I
right
think
here.
well maybe it was Fred. I don't know. And they go like, well, what if you miss? Like, what if you miss your kickflip? And he's like, I don't miss.
I've heard.
You know?
I've heard that.
You heard
I've
that
heard
story,
that
right?
story.
Yeah, yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
That
And,
made
it's-
its
and that
rounds
was the
down
level
here.
of his confidence. You know what I mean? He's just like, miss? Why would I miss a kickflip?
Yeah, I never miss.
Like,
love
I'm
that.
worried about this being a big rail, not like about doing a kickflip, like the impact on the bottom or whatever.
I
you know?
can't remember, but when Bastien was on the show, I think we definitely talked about this.
Uh-huh.
I don't remember him saying that maybe he did confirm that. I don't remember, dude. I'll have to go back and watch.
Yeah, I
that.
don't know if
I mean, I
he
wasn't
said
there. I
that.
wasn't there in person, so I'm like,
Yeah, but that's the
reciting
story I
someone
heard.
else's story or whatever.
100%.
I think I heard that story as well.
He just did that super quick though, right?
I think it was. I
Yeah.
think it was like first or second try.
It was quick,
He was
whatever
trying
it
to
was.
like gas himself up to do it, and then
Yeah.
he just like did it
Right.
or something. I don't quote me. Go watch his episode. He talks about it for sure.
Yeah. So I mean, I mean, I definitely feel like I had a, you know,
Helping
sort
hand.
of, a good hand in trying to build the team, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, like I always, I mean, just try to look for new riders or suggest people that you know that I think would be a good fit or whatever, you know.
And it wasn't. I mean, you're traveling around, so it wasn't intentional to get like a bunch of more European riders on, right?
No, that just happened to be like, how it was, you know what I mean? But I mean, that's always been like what Jeremy's really like been into, you know what I mean? Is like, he didn't really want people from like other teams. Like he wants kids and build them from the ground up. And I mean, well, at least in my case, it's they're my family. It's like my loyalty, my first sponsor ever, all this kind of stuff. So in that sense, it can work. But I guess some people may have left along the way or whatever. But I mean, there's, you know, Luan, David, Curran, Louis,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
Appleyard.
all, like
Can't remember.
Appleyard, you
Yeah.
know, like all these people can't, like, they great skaters, and they all like rose up from the bottom, you know.
Totally,
Obviously we've had a couple too that maybe didn't work out that we saw great potential in.
Right.
But I mean, yeah.
But even if they were on-
you can't hit it every time, you know.
No,
like-
100%.
No, but
No,
those
no,
kids
no,
that were,
sure.
remember Andrew Gordon? I remember seeing
Yeah,
clips. I was
yeah,
like, damn,
Andrew
this kid's
Gordon,
gnarly, but yeah, nothing really came out.
Eric
Brockman.
yeah.
Eric Brockman was sick.
Yeah.
How was
But yeah, Andrew Gordon was amazing. He actually reminded me a lot of like Boulala. He had that same like lanky kind of like really cool.
did gnarly stuff,
Style.
yeah.
So even when you were helping him, did you have anything to do did you go into the office? Were you trying to get in, not trying to get into that role, but were you helping out behind the scenes at all, or was it just like, hey, this kid's good, check him out?
I think it just felt like family.
Yeah.
So I would, you know,
You just
just
wanted to help in any way.
I just wanted to help, and I mean, I mean, I owe my whole skateboarding career to Jeremy and Ian, and like the way that they've run things, and I think like, I mean, it goes both ways. I mean, they were essentially, I think, agents for the whole team. Basically, everyone that would get on Flip, they would act as like agents, but not taking a cut of
Right.
like, you know what I
That's
mean?
so
But
sick.
they were, you know, helping build everyone's careers and trying to get them on other teams and you know, making sure that they were, you know, like getting interviews in Thrasher or
Yeah.
meeting up with magazines. And
They
all
knew that
this
the
kind of
bigger
stuff.
that
You know,
their riders got,
Sure.
the bigger sponsors that the rider was
Overall,
so
better-
good for
better
them.
for them.
Better
Yeah.
for Flip.
And
yeah.
and they would always be sort of the first ones that I would talk to when there was, oh, this is opportunity. Do you think I should do it? And
Right.
you know, because I mean, I'm not afraid to say. I mean, I've rode some whatever shitty kooky shit here and there, but I always try to just like balance it. You know, for me, I was like, I mean, I can ride for something that's like maybe like a more commercial kind of, not very skate orientated brand, but as long as I have all these other sort of like bases covered, I'm riding for Axion, whatever, I'm riding for
Yeah.
Flip, like these are like cool companies that puts me where I want to position myself, like as far as image or whatever, you know, that kind of thing. Then you can kind of like bring one of those in. That's kind of like, this is kind of like a weird outside
I
company, you know?
feel like the vert skaters had more of a pass at that stuff
Yeah.
later on than like obviously the street skaters got into that stuff too with the Red Bulls and Monsters and the more corporate sponsors.
Yeah.
But I feel like the vert skaters had
Yeah.
had more of a pass.
Sure. Yeah. I don't know if it was a
Well,
pass.
also
or
opportunity.
I just,
Yeah.
I just think that we
More TV
we
time.
just knew
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
weren't going to be as cool as Rick Howard. Or, you know what I mean? Like that, like we just knew, like that's not us.
I knew that too.
You
I
know?
wouldn't be as cool as Rick Howard either. And I was a street skater.
Yeah. But so I think in that sense, it was like, well, why not? Like, why not take this opportunity?
Dude,
You
Andy
know what I mean?
Mack opened the door with Sobe.
Sobe.
Remember Sobe?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
He was the
Yeah.
first person to have a drink sponsor.
And the
Oh, was
only
it?
was he
Yeah.
the only skateboarder?
Bro, he was
Okay.
getting roasted for that stuff
Yeah.
back in the
Sure,
day.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, but he said, I don't care. I drink Sobe.
Yeah.
I love it. I don't drink beer. If he had
Yeah.
a beer sponsor, that would be totally against what he was going for.
I think he would get roasted for like sending sort of like approaching sponsors too. You know what I mean?
okay.
Like
Yeah,
where it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, hey,
Have a
I'm
pitch deck?
so and so. Yeah,
Right.
and that's like, I mean, shortly after that, everyone's like sending sponsor me tapes and you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
like,
And
why wouldn't
it-
you do
Yeah,
that?
like, it's
Yeah.
like, oh, hey, can I ride for you? Or you know what I mean?
But it's also like
so-
to people that aren't in the skate industry for the most part, right?
Yeah.
It's like he's going to companies that know nothing about skating.
Yeah.
and
yeah, like
he's pitching-
Sobe.
Yeah.
Like, what?
yeah.
But I mean, it worked for him. man.
Pioneer,
Yeah,
dude.
sure.
He was sponsored by
Pioneered
a
it.
licorice thing, right?
Yeah,
Wasn't he
wasn't
Red
he?
Vines
Red
or
Vines?
something?
Oh yeah. So that's another thing that
Skid-
I
yeah,
think he
something.
likes.
Yeah, he does.
loves
He
Red Vines, yeah.
actually likes all his sponsors.
Yeah, yeah.
Patagonia? He's in
Yeah.
Patagonia? I was like,
Patagonia, god damn.
What was? Did you have all? Did you have
Cliff
an
Bar?
agent or
Cliff
yeah?
Bar?
Cliff Bar. Did you have an agent or anything, or did you do all
I-
your deals yourself? What's going on?
Again, Jeremy and Ian helped me out mostly,
Okay.
but I did have a time in my career where I was working with an agent.
I mean, you were in
And,
every
um,
X Games. Like
yeah.
that helped tremendously.
Sure,
TV
sure.
time. This is
Yeah.
what everybody wanted.
Yeah, sure. So there was like remember like Boost Mobile.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was like one thing that an agent brought to the table. But I always told my agent that you know, that she wasn't going to get anything that I had already established myself. Like
Oh,
you know
sure,
what I mean?
sure,
Like
sure.
anything.
She
that
was not gonna step
but,
in.
But
Anything
if you
new.
wanna if you bring in anything new to the table, of course you know
get your cut.
Yeah, you're gonna get your cut.
100%.
So, but yeah, it was pretty short-lived.
Mm.
I mean, it may sound like a long time in other people's ears, but in my career, it was short-lived. It was maybe like four or 5 years or something like
Okay.
that I was, you know, working with an agent.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, all that stuff's normal now.
Oh
guess,
yeah.
right?
Big
And,
totally.
yeah.
It's normal for also the you know the core skaters also, but man, it's so for the people who are on the podium, the people who are getting TV time. I feel like it's a lot easier
Yeah.
to like secure some of that stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's harder to get if you're on a Red Bull or a Monster. It's hard to get on those companies.
Yeah.
I wish, like,
And
Yeah.
and some kids today are like more concerned about getting on Red Bull or Monster than they would be about like getting on like primitive or FA or you know what I mean, like something that like
Which is
to
mind
our
blowing,
generation
for sure.
is like that's what means something, you know.
Yeah.
It's like what board company do you ride for? Like that's your number one. That's who you are. You know what I mean?
Nowadays, you don't even need the board sponsor to get other sponsors.
Yeah.
That was not the case back in the day. You had to have a board sponsor.
Yeah, for sure.
First
To
and
get a
foremost.
shoe, even wheels.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
you had to
yeah.
have that core board sponsor.
Yeah.
I think I've seen some kids that don't have board sponsors that do ride for the Red Bulls or Monsters already.
Yeah.
And I think it was hard for them to get a board sponsor from that, going
Yeah.
from that point
For
into
sure.
a board sponsor.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think everyone kind of opened up
Yeah.
and kind of realized, like, all right, maybe it's okay if they have those sponsors. And those sponsors are paying for all their shit.
Cares at this
basically.
point. At this point in time, a pro skateboarder barely makes any money, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's pro skaters. Your favorite pro skater may have a job. They may have
Yeah.
2 jobs to
Right.
survive. Like
Yeah.
it's tough out there,
Yeah,
dude. I
sure.
salute people who go out there and get their money, man. You know, because it comes to a point where it's not you're not living in your friend's couch anymore, paying $200 in rent.
Right, right.
Like you grow up and you have a life. You know.
I think Jamie Foy, actually, I think he got sponsored on Red Bull before he got any board sponsor.
Yeah.
Oh,
There you
wow.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine.
There you
Skater of the year. And
Yeah, I think to me it was like, I mean, yeah, once I had kids, it was definitely like
Changed game.
needed to be sort of solid in some way, and started like making more sort of like
Adult decisions.
adult decisions and like things that would be more, I guess, financially beneficial,
Yeah.
as opposed to just thinking about the cool factor.
Yeah.
You know?
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you're
Um,
cool. Don't worry about it.
yeah,
You know
you're
what I mean?
good, dude.
Thank you.
You're Rune Glifberg.
Yeah.
All you need to do is look in the mirror and be like, I'm Rune Glifberg.
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
But it's crazy now. Like, I mean, I'm really happy with the people that I work with today, but it's definitely not like people that I've imagined that I'd be working with. I mean, I still got some like skate sponsors and stuff,
Sure,
but
sure.
I'm like working at home with like BMW.
Wow.
Like that's one thing. I mean, I've always been
Okay.
What do we work?
BMW.
What do you mean? What do you mean we were working with? How
We want to work with them
yeah.
too, actually. It's
I love BMWs.
Yeah,
how do
right.
you-
And I have loved them since '97, like since I bought my
But
first
what
one.
do you mean you work with them?
I'm a BMW ambassador in Denmark.
What?
Yeah. So
How?
That is cool. Dude.
they approached me.
They said, "Hey, you
Yeah.
want to drive our cars?" You said, "Hell yes."
Yeah.
I already
I've
did.
been
He already
driving.
does.
Yeah, I've been driving. There you go.
Okay, so wait a minute. If you're a BMW ambassador over there, can you come to the States and they hook you up with a
They
car?
have before.
Okay.
Not this time around.
Oh,
though. I had to rent one.
shoot.
But yeah. So and like the clothing company I'm working with now, Golden Goose, is like
Oh, yeah.
also sort of like out of left field.
They do shoes and stuff too, right?
Yeah,
They
yeah,
all
they
this
do.
stuff.
But
Yeah,
but
yeah.
but I
We
just
talked
do
about that before,
do
many
the
times.
clothing thing.
Oh, okay, okay.
Oh,
So
you do the
so
clothing.
that yeah
Okay.
yeah. So yeah, I still ride Nike shoes.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean those type of sponsors are like a little bit, you know what I mean? Just way different. Not what we had like. I mean, I think like
Those are adult
In-
sponsors.
yeah.
No, dude, they're high end.
Well,
They're high end.
back in say like just even like around 2000 or whatever, or like the 90s or whatever. Like if you even thought about wearing something that wasn't directly skate related, you were kind of like clowned about.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? Like
For
like
sure.
people were like, why are you wearing Calvin Klein, or like you know like something that like people can just
Yes.
wear that stuff now, Lacoste or
Right.
Polo or whatever other stuff that people are just wearing stuff all the time. I mean, you got guys walking Louis Vuitton shows.
I know.
now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
We were
so-
just talking about this the other night. Imagine Jerron on Blind and all these guys like Kareem and everybody. Imagine them walking LV shows.
Yeah.
back then.
Right.
Back
Right?
then.
Yeah.
Imagine
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Like
No, that was like back then. It was like it was skate companies.
Yes.
and like they would like you wouldn't even think about buying a T-shirt that wasn't from a skateboard company. Or
I
at
mean,
least-
I beg to differ. That's just
Yeah.
for me in the early '90s. Like I was wearing Polo and Tommy Hilfiger and random like stuff like that before. Like not say everybody, but like I was wearing that shit.
Yeah, but you were one of the dope ones. You're the ones that could get away with it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
you
know,
were
I know,
girl
I know you're
on
talking.
shit.
I know you're
Because
talking.
I remember going to
I
the
know you're
city
talking.
and like, I mean, we
Yeah.
would go to like, you know, a lot of these like department stores and everybody in like Chico and just like we would all be wearing like some stuff.
But I think the kids they had a different
for sure. No, I know what you mean.
I definitely was trying to like emulate you guys, but I definitely wasn't wearing like Tommy Hilfiger shit. Like I was just wearing like a white collared polo shirt that was just not polo, but it was.
We were getting it from the outlets and stuff. Huh?
Would you skate in it?
Time to time, but usually it would be my chilling gear.
I was gonna say because like I would buy Maddox gear or anything like that because I saw you guys skating. And
for sure, at that time it was definitely Maddox gear. Yeah, that was like 98, 99, and that's when everything kind of started. As far as like. We're starting a new clothing brand. You guys want to skate for it? Down.
But I think you're correct in a certain way, Rune, because like there was a certain stigma that you had to that was against outside brands. You would really skate like the skateboarding brands. That was it.
And I think what it was good for, it was keeping the money where it needed to be. If we're talking about skateboarding as an industry,
100%.
You know what I mean? Which was very organic and very good for skateboarding at the time. I think so there wasn't really a lot of like, I guess like a few people maybe like. Well, like Omar had the Ford sponsorship or whatever.
That
was later. But it was like that kind of stuff that wouldn't fly back.
I feel like
I
was
wearing,
wearing,
like you were saying, like the Sobe thing. It was like people were like, what? Sobe?
That was like
what? Like what is that?
Early.
That was early. Yeah.
What did what's his name? Reese Forbes had Jaguar.
That was later too.
Yeah, but dude, Jaguar.
Cool.
That's hella cool, man.
Yeah, that's dope.
But I think I'm blind jeans, fucked jeans, like fucked pants.
Of course,
blonde. Like there was no way that I'm gonna spend any type of money on other shit other than skate stuff. There's no way.
Yeah, that's definitely
going to Rip City and getting fucked pants.
Yeah.
Shorts. Remember the big old shorts?
What about, so how did you
what was it? Ghetto wear? Remember that?
Totally.
Those shorts.
That had a great moment, bro. I always wanted those ghetto wear shorts.
Yeah.
Always. Yeah.
What about, how did you get connected with Golden Goose?
Through my friend Corbin, which I've known for a long time. And I guess he's an agent now. But he's been my friend for a long time, and I guess he represents Corey Gino. Oh. And Corey started working with him just because Corey wanted to work with him. Mm-hmm. So I guess they had reached out to Golden Goose and to see if there was an opportunity there. And then they had been doing that for a little while. Corey got the bronze medal wearing their shoes or whatever. So I guess after that, they wanted to maybe move forward a little bit, and now they added me for their clothing, and looking at a couple of other riders too.
Congrats on that. That's really cool,
thanks.
dude.
I'm available.
Okay.
Well,
if you guys are actively looking.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize that it was only a clothing deal that you got.
Yeah.
I figured it was shoes too.
Yeah, I always figured them as shoes.
Yeah.
Same. Well, that goes back to kind of like what I was talking about a little bit earlier about like kind of, I guess you could say like stay in your lane, but still like maybe like reaching out the window, grabbing something that's over here. I still want to make sure that I have like sponsors that I feel are directly connected with skateboarding and what's going on in skateboarding.
Yeah, totally.
You don't want to fully leave the lane, and go. What happened to Rune?
Yeah,
look at this guy.
Exactly. Right. And there's also like opportunities. I mean, I feel like Monster, for example. I hadn't thought about that like early on, but like riding for Monster these past couple of years, like we've been going on tours. Like I've been like traveling with Monster like the past 2 years, and we've been like we came out with that video last year, Side Mission. I don't know if you saw it. It was like a 40-minute like kind of like full feature. Yeah, it was a good fucking skate video.
Sure.
And we've been going on all these other skate trips and filming, doing stuff with like Pocket Mag out in Europe, and
they do a lot of rad stuff.
Even stuff with Thrasher, and so filming clips and doing demos for the kids, and like doing stuff that's like real what skate companies would do back in the day. And
we've lost that a little bit for sure.
And I feel like Monster is like I guess not to like talk them up too much compared to everyone else, but I feel like they're one of the only ones that are actually doing that kind of stuff that's actually cool shit.
Right.
And that helps to, you know, just stay connected with skateboarding and everything that's going on. I mean, I'm going to be 50 this year. So, like, I mean, I sort of have to, I guess, think more about like how I stay involved if I want to stay involved, which I do because it's fun and I enjoy skateboarding. I mean, I can't do it every day and like, you know, like really go hard all the time, but I mean, I still love it.
Did you ever think years ago that you would be like a pro skateboarder still at 49?
Hell no.
I think that's something like that we take for granted. Like in that sense, I never thought I would be here still still have a board time to time. Just it's so crazy, right?
I had a thing when I was younger, and like someone would ask me like maybe a family member or whoever, someone would be like, oh, so how long can you keep skateboarding for? Like what do you think? Like, and I'd be like, yeah, like maybe like 5 years or whatever. And then like, and I've moved out to the States, and then I was like, oh, if I can just stay here for like 2 or 3 more years, I'm fucking psyched. This is so rad. What an opportunity, seeing the world and like doing all this stuff. I felt so blessed. It was so fun to do. And so whenever I've gotten that question, it's like, oh, how long do you think you keep going? Like I've always said like, oh, maybe like 5 more years. Right. like five more years. That's always been. And now
you said that 5 years ago.
I know, right? And
you said that 25 years ago.
Yeah, I can't even remember how long I've been skateboarding, but it's been since '86. That's when I started. But it's like whatever that is.
Did you think it was
nearly 40 years?
Back then too, it was.
Close,
somebody's skate career didn't probably last past 18 years old, 20 years old.
Yeah. I mean, that's what's so crazy when you're in skateboarding for this long, and I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen it too. It's like how many great skateboarders that you've seen like pretty much come from nowhere, blow up, be one of the biggest skateboarders in the world, and sort of disappear again.
Yeah, it's happened a lot.
You know,
quite a bit.
Like it's pretty crazy, and obviously it was there's some lost soldiers along the way too, and all that kind of stuff, you know. But I mean, when you're in skateboarding for that long, you definitely like see a lot of people come and go.
100%.
Unfortunately, yeah.
I mean, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to ask, like, when we're talking about all this, like, when you're deciding to leave to go back to Denmark, you know, other than your 2 daughters, you know, saying help them grow up or whatever. Like, did you think that was going to be a weird move for you career-wise for skateboarding, going back home?
Yeah, for sure. I was definitely worried about it. But I think skateboarding had also changed. Yeah. I mean, when I moved out to California, that was the place to be. You had to be there. Again, there was no, like, European skate companies or whatever. And then one day, someone invented this thing called the internet.
Damn this internet.
Yeah. And
changed everything.
I think that kind of opened the door for a lot of, you know, skateboarding from all over the world, and being able to sort of still have a career that means something, even if you're living in a different country. I mean, what's his name? Lucas Puig.
Lucas Puig.
Yeah. You know, like guys like that never even really
left.
Like, never even really spent that much time over here, but still is like respected as like 100%. One of the coolest and raddest skateboarders. Huge you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that would never have been possible in 90 whatever 4 or around that time. So I mean, to answer your question, I was definitely worried about it, but I also felt like skateboarding was maybe mature enough to kind of like have that avenue, and then again I was like thinking like, well, if I could just stay over here for 5 more years, you know, like, then maybe I got it, and here we are, like 12 years later.
And also you're an established like OG, like legend in the game. You already have that status. You're not trying to go after it, so you can then move kind of freely. I feel like,
that's definitely helped too, and also knowing that the people that support me aren't supporting me because they're expecting me to come out with the new best video part or win the next contest or whatever it is. They know that I'm here, and I'm engaged in skateboarding. I'm still doing it, and there's people out there from my generation, past generations, and current generations that really appreciate what I do.
100%.
And just for the fact that I skate like how I skate.
Yeah.
So I think it really speaks volumes about skateboarding, where skateboarding's become, like what it's become, you know. I mean, we grew up in that era where it's like it was the latest video part. Like it was everything was like it was like month to month. Things just had to get better. You know, you couldn't bring out stuff like what people are bringing out now that is just like for the sort of like the art of things. You know what I mean? Like if companies would put out something bad, it'd be like almost like company suicide or whatever, or for a skateboarder it'd be career suicide. They'd be like, nah, it's like that's not flying. And now, you know, dudes are putting out whatever clips of them doing slappies and whatever and all this kind of stuff.
Hey, what do you have against slappies?
Speak your truth, dude.
Nothing against slappies. I'm just saying it's maybe not the most current and new developed trick or whatever.
So
you know,
funny though, right? Because it's open. The door's open.
Yeah, and
whatever you want to do.
Yeah, almost anything is acceptable. Not anything, but almost at this point, because everybody's just having fun. They're doing what they want to do. So
I think there's still unwritten rules.
Skateboarding has become more like art than how it used to be. It used to be all about evolution and you know, coming up with the progression, coming up with the best video part, the newest trick, whatever. And now it's like I relate it way more to like say music or art or something like that, where you know, you're really just you know, doing the stuff that you like, and I think like there's a certain nostalgia too for the older guys that I mean, for me to like you know, like I mentioned Javier before, or like Rodrigo or someone like that, for me to you know to see those guys still skating, like it's like hearing a good like vintage like record. You know what I mean? Like it's like just like that's it. Like that's why I love it. You know what I mean? Like or you could you know put on an old like video part that you really love, and you're just like
you get that feeling.
That is it, man. That's why I've been doing this for so long,
dude. I mean, have you seen the new Baker Has a Death Wish?
Yes, I went to the premiere the other day.
Oh
I was fortunate enough to I didn't know it was happening, but I just happened to be here, come to town 2 days before.
It's exactly what you said, though. You see the Andrew Reynolds, you see Brian Herman, you see
Alyssa.
Kevin Spanky Long, Alyssa.
Yeah,
like these OG. They're still killing it. They're still ripping.
Yeah.
They still look amazing on their skateboard.
Yeah, for sure.
It is so.
A couple of manual tricks from Ellington and that was
dude, it is so inspiring.
Yeah,
it's so inspiring. I went and skated the other day. I sucked. I wanted to quit, Rune. But now I saw that Baker video. I'm like, okay, no, I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna keep holding that flag, man.
You should, bro.
Let's go back and do another switch flip mania.
Rune, this interview's over, dude. No, there's no way. There's no way. Thank you. God bless you. God bless you for thinking that I could still jump up that thing.
But that's the thing, though. Like just like a simple thing like that. I'm not saying it's simple, but like you know, like just something nice and clean like that. It's just like, that's it. You know what I mean? Like,
I want to.
Nostalgia.
Yes,
I'm trying to say.
And I want to give like Reynolds and all them who make those videos, because they keep the nostalgia too, right? Because it's the videos, like all the new kids were shining, but the old dogs were shining too.
Oh, you heard it in the premiere too, like when the OGs come on, everybody's like, you know, it's just a different look.
But I think Andrew Reynolds. Not that many companies have been successful in that, I think. And I think Reynolds has really held that all together, you know, in such a beautiful way.
Right.
You know?
I forget what was I listening to or saw the other day, where they were talking about like, you know, like just like the family aspect of it, or Greco was saying something, it was almost like mafia or whatever, like the way that they look at how it's like family or whatever.
Yeah.
What was that on here? Or
I don't know, but I know it sounds familiar.
But it's
I've heard that.
Yeah, but you know, that's the thing where it's like you're not just letting go of people because they're not maybe the most current or the best, and that's how I feel like what the Flip family is all about too. You know what I mean? yeah, you know, I mean, we've had guys leave. We've had guys come back too, and more of that in the future. If I can let that out here. I'm not going to name any names,
but yeah. Exclusive. Wait, what do we? No, okay.
Yeah.
Just know something.
But, there's some new kids coming out on Flip that are gnarly. That kid Raimu, that kid is gnarly, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So
you guys got a good thing going on.
Yeah,
over there,
and Arto came back. You know,
Arto,
after the thing over at Alien or whatever, and you know, so yeah. I mean, I think that's what a great skateboard company is like family, you know, like same as
Straight
you
up.
know what you guys been doing over at Girl Chocolate and all that. You know, like it's
it's a beautiful
family.
thing, and that's why I said it's like companies like Flip and Girl Chocolate, like Reynolds. He's holding everything together.
Yeah,
and the video's amazing.
Yeah,
like it makes
it
you
was really
feel
good.
a certain way. Like people are putting out skate video parts left and right. They may skate for a company, but I can't get a feeling for that company. Like you watch Baker Has a Death Wish video, and you're like, you feel this camaraderie, you feel the skateboard, you feel the company. You know, you can't get that with all the just single parts coming out.
No,
you know.
for
So
sure.
I'm hoping that skate video companies keep making them.
They will.
Because it's the only.
they will.
I know, but I feel like it's few and far between. You know what I mean? I feel like it's not as prevalent as it used to be.
Well,
it
they're
used
not
to be
cheap
like
to make. Like, you know,
true.
It's a lot. Everyone has to be on the same page.
But I think a lot of
putting
these,
something together.
A lot of
dude.
these
It's
companies
like-
have talented writers, you know,
sure.
and they can put together video parts like that.
Yeah,
you
but
know?
it's
Sometimes these dudes are
videos.
on their own mission though, and sometimes they got more shit, and it's like we can't be letting
I
that
just
stay around.
I don't
We
want
gotta
to
put it out now.
I just want every.
I feel you.
and you're also
I
like,
miss that
I mean,
too.
there's maybe only so many spots in your own backyard, and like, you know what I mean? Like, what are you gonna go do at like Hollywood High? Whatever. You know what I mean? Like
That hasn't
you
been
better
done.
you better have like come out with something serious. You know
For
what I mean? Like so, and I think like you need to be going on trips and like doing stuff, and that stuff's not cheap. You know?
If you had to do a trick down Hollywood High, what would you do?
I'd go for a board slide.
I don't know. It's got to be an NBD. No.
Oh, it's got to be NBD. Oh,
No, but
I
a
gotta
board
think of
slide,
one?
you would try
I gotta think of
to.
one?
If you had to, you would board slide it, 100%.
Yeah, that'd be
you-
backboard slide. That'd be my go-to.
Backboard. Okay.
Yeah.
To go-
I'm not. I don't like the 50s. I have a
fuck
hard
that
time
shit.
trusting myself on a flat bar.
Yeah.
And just like too much weight on that. I mean, back in the day, I'd like 50 and 5. I would like some 10 stairs and stuff, whatever. But it's like not like. Yeah, I don't feel like there was really like too much weight on there. You know what I mean? I was like on
it's
there
on
for
and
a second,
off.
but it's like the aim, dude. I may as well be like I could just as well be riding down on the wheel as like hitting the middle of my truck.
Well, guess what? We have a filmer here. We have a car. We have light in general. We're going to go to
Yeah.
Jesus.
Come on.
Has
Kelly.
anyone
We
done
want
that,
you to front board it.
You want me to die too?
What's that thing?
Ooh, that's not
That one Raimu did at the Clipper Ledge.
Oh yeah, so it's 270.
Someone do to the front blunt. Yeah, someone do that on Hollywood High. That'd be dope, right? Yeah.
Good. I mean, he could probably do it.
Yeah, these
Yeah.
kids nowadays, man. These
I was
kids,
gonna. I wanted
Well,
to
the
ask,
Japanese skateboarding.
Oh my
Should we
God.
talk about
Yeah.
that for a second?
No, they're coming in hard, bro.
Holy
Crazy
shit.
hot.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Dude.
I think.
I mean, I didn't go to Tampa or whatever, but I mean, it's like I just hear that it's just like there's just so many of them.
It's like I get to judge those
and
contests.
they're so good.
I get to judge those
All of it.
contests, and like they all come together, and they don't. A lot of them don't know English yet,
Yeah.
so they all hang out together, and then they all destroy the park.
Yeah.
and then they all just hang out with each other. And
Yeah.
but they all get along with everyone else super
Right,
well.
right.
But they just the language barriers there.
Sure.
But it is every year. It is incredible skateboarding progressive every.
But
single
how are
time.
they so good? I don't.
They
get
be
it.
training.
They
bro.
train, dude.
Yeah, I guess.
And you got to think about it, like the skateboarding when we were growing up, like there wasn't any skate parks.
Right.
Like the closest park I had was a Powell Skate Zone, Santa Barbara. I had to get somebody to drive me an hour and a half to go skate a skate park. We were all street skating, dude. Like
Yeah.
there was
Yeah,
no,
and you have to pay for a lot of them too.
There
I
was
guess,
no
yeah.
skate parks ever, and now they're just everywhere. Skate parks are like a dime a dozen.
That's why there's
Like-
a lot of good skateboarders.
Right? You hear about the new skate? I didn't even know they built a skate park there. You know, that's how.
Yeah.
If they built a skate park back in the day, you would know
Yeah,
that
for
they
sure.
had broken ground. They were building
Yeah.
a skate park, and now they're just popping up left and right. Nobody
Yeah.
knows. They're like, shit, there's one over there.
Yeah.
I think they have a lot of
Crazy.
support from even the country almost too. I feel like the
for
country
sure.
really backs skateboarding, even though you're not allowed to skate street spots.
Oh, Japan?
Yeah.
Well, I think taking the 3 out of the 4 gold medals at the Olympics probably helped them a lot.
Oh,
too.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's like
Open
I
their
mean, you
eyes a
have
little
to
bit.
you have to support that. I mean, if you're a government or whatever sports thing in Japan, like you're gonna be like, yeah, okay.
How was skating in the Olympics? I mean, you were like the oldest dude there, right?
Yeah. I was the oldest guy there. Supposedly, I don't know if this is 100% official, but I've been told that I was the oldest Olympic debutant in the history of the Olympics.
Wow.
Not meaning I'm the oldest Olympian ever, but meaning I'm the oldest guy who went to my first Olympics ever.
Oh, wow.
At 46, I believe I was. At the time.
Wow.
They were like, "Who's this old guy coming in the Olympics for his first time?"
But it was, I mean, it was a great experience. It was really fun. I mean, I don't think the Olympics is necessarily, a great thing for skateboarding. I don't think it's a bad thing. It's just there. It's a thing that we're going to have to deal with every 4 years. It's going to be like, oh, okay, here's this thing, and people are going to be talking about it for maybe a month or whatever is happening, and then people are going to forget about it again, and then you're going to have like a different track of kids that are just going to be like, well, I'm training for the next Olympics. Like that's what they want to do. Core skateboarding, the rest of skateboarding, I mean, it's not going to matter or not going to care. I think, that's just my take on it.
Sure.
But being like, back to your question, being at the Olympics, the experience was great. And it was, it was very unique for everyone, I think, to be there because it was like a first. We're a part of something that has never happened before.
Right.
I was part of the first X Games, and that was not the same feeling because that was like super kooky and like they did not get it. But
it took a while for X Games to get to
yeah.
I think also with the Olympics, I think it's going to take a while.
Yeah,
as an
but at least,
outsider
like,
looking in, it was difficult to watch.
Yeah.
With the announcements and all this stuff, and they weren't really giving a history lesson.
Part of the motivation for me to try to go was to try to showcase skateboarding in an authentic way. I've always looked up to the Lance Mountains and the, Dwayne Peters and Pat Noho and like all the people that came before me, the Gons and like all these like super rad people that I've been inspired by. I think being able to try to help showcase that skateboarding is not just this like elite thing where it's all about winning and scoring the highest points and all this, like showcasing this is skateboarding. There's guys from different generations, there's different styles that are, the people are doing it in different ways. We aren't like all just doing the same thing and we're not all going to look the same.
And we're not all 16 years old.
Yeah,
there's
exactly.
a generations of skateboarders still doing it, still out there. I love that.
Yeah,
And,
the
I
age
think-
difference between you guys was pretty wild. Like from the younger kids in the park series to you, but like I was there and I was like, I guess I actually when I met you for the first time because I was doing social media, but I was like, I was really proud to watch you skate there.
Thank you.
Because I grew up watching you and to see someone like, because there was no older dudes that I watched growing up skating in the Olympics.
Right, yeah.
There were,
Yeah, for
you know what I
sure.
mean? I saw Tony Hawk there, but he wasn't in.
He wasn't skating.
But it was really cool to watch.
Yeah.
Were you nervous at all when it came to your time to go in there? Or?
Yeah, and it just
This man's a veteran, man. Come on, bro. 20-something.
But there's no one there though. There's no one really there.
Yeah, there's no crowd or anything, so it was a little weird. But I would have loved to obviously have done better. Like I fell off all my runs, kind of like, so it was kind of like in a competition type sense, it was kind of shitty. But I had a really great day. It was really fun being there and being a part of it. But it just so happened that during the they did this like lottery to like try to figure out who was like what heat you had to be in and all this kind of stuff, right? So they were like picking numbers and names out of these hats, like heat 1, Pedro Barros, or like, you know what I mean, like heat 2, So they were like, and so it was sitting there with these other 20 guys just waiting, and my name just wasn't coming up, and heat 1 just wasn't filling up,
man.
and I was like, you never want to be the first guy in.
Yeah.
And I was just sitting there and it was coming down to it. I'm like, I know I'm going to fucking get it. Like, I'm going to fucking have to go first. This is going to suck. Why can't I just fucking get in one of the later heats and just like, not like, you know what I mean? And of course, he won. Rune Glifberg. And everyone in the room's like, yeah, like clapping. And I'm like,
no.
I'm like so fucking bummed. I'm like, oh man. Because, I mean, generally in contests is the worst position you want to be in. The icebreaker, first of all, it's like you're nervous and scores tend to go up.
Yes.
But anyway, so like everyone's clapping. Why are they clapping? Well, I guess they're clapping because I guess in a sense there was there was like maybe like a higher power or like as like our thing is like, yeah, we're gonna have the OG, the veteran, the OG. We're gonna have him like open it like for us. And so in that sense, I mean, I turn around like overnight. It was the day before the contest, so like overnight, I'd kind of like gotten it turned around in my head and was kind of like, okay, this is something that I should be proud of. I'm gonna be. Not only am I the oldest guy, not only am I the oldest debutant in the history of the Olympics, but I'm also the first park skateboarder to ever, or men's park skateboarder to go in the Olympics. Yeah. So I guess in a sense it was kind of I don't know, a privilege.
Wasn't you were the first to do in the park, and then wasn't Felipe Gustavo the first in the street?
Yep.
I think he was.
He was. I think I filmed you getting chosen. I filmed everything there, and I never. Yeah, you definitely seemed kind of bummed.
Yeah, I was super bummed.
But that's why, literally, like you're right. Everyone was clapping because it was you that got it, and they just respect you regardless.
Yeah,
anyway.
so there was
and they were stoked that they weren't going first.
I don't think it was that. It was more like I think they were just thought that was the way that it should be.
Cool
you know what I mean? Yeah, so it was cool.
Yeah. And, if you're gonna if there's a chance to go back this next Olympics, are we going or what? What are we doing?
First I was like, nah, probably not. But then like I've been helping the national team back home, and we have this kid Victor. So I was like really like trying to help him and figure things out for him. And so I ended up entering the first contest because I was going anyway. And I ended up probably doing better than I had at any of the other ones. So that kind of like sparked it. So we'll see. I mean, there's 3 more contests to go, so we'll see what happens.
Okay. But we could be second time oldest man.
You're going to set that record again.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you could do the oldest. What's the oldest ever been in the Olympics?
I don't know, but I'm sure there's like someone that's been in like sailing or curling or you know what I mean, like there's some of these sports that not to talk anything down but aren't that physical in a way.
Right.
So I'm sure there's or like don't they do some like type of shooting and stuff too? At least like on the skis they do the shooting for Winter Olympics and stuff like that. I think
oldest person to compete in the Olympics, Rune Glifberg.
Anyways, that's the Olympics is kind of off topic for the nightclub, isn't it?
No, it's cool. I think it's cool that you were there, man.
I mean, I'm proud of it.
It's not, there's a 72-year-old here shooting.
Yeah, 70. There you go. 72.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not beating that record.
71 sailing.
Yeah. There you go.
Another archery 71.
All right.
So equestrian, just riding a horse.
Oh yeah, riding a horse. Yeah.
But let's see if you're up here. Are you on this list, bro?
I don't know.
Oh, you are. Look.
Yeah.
Rune Glifberg, skateboarding, 46.
Yeah, 46.
Wow, that's sick.
Look at that. You're on the
46
list, bro.
302 days? Is that what it is?
I don't know what that means. Oh, there. It's to keep track of the days. The day count.
Like how many years and then days.
Look at that. Well, you are on a list.
Yeah, okay. But it doesn't say we'd have to count. We don't need to count right now. But so I guess I would maybe be the 20th oldest or something like that. I don't know how. I don't see where it is right now.
We'll do some math here.
That's how old I am. I can't even see the screen that's over there.
Yeah, we're getting there, bud.
Yeah.
Congrats on that, though. What a fun time, dude. What a fun experience.
Yeah, I mean, that day was a really great day for me, and I mean, it was very early in the morning. And but I was smiling. It was a very sort of happy and blessed day. The sun was out, and I was like, dude. I was taking it all in, and it was fun.
Who would have thought? Lil Rune Glifberg from Copenhagen, Denmark.
Yeah.
Dude, coming out here with Tom Penny and
That's a whole other thing.
Right.
That's already a win right there. You've already won life, coming out with those
You've
guys.
gone through some epic stuff in skateboarding and shaped it very well for us. So thank you very much.
Yeah, bro.
It's amazing, bro.
I appreciate you guys saying that.
Dude,
Yeah.
Glifberg, man.
There's a lot around it that I had nothing to do with, but I appreciate the gesture or the
Yeah, dude.
thank you.
I love it, bro.
And you got a great name, dude. It stands out. No,
Oh.
I don't know any other Rune.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard Rune.
Yeah, well, back home it's pretty common, I guess.
Oh,
in the
is it?
Nordic, in the Nordic countries, it's
Is
pretty
it short
common.
for anything, or is it just Rune?
No, it's just Rune.
This
It's
is it?
it's I mean, it's Viking, Scandinavian, and it's like the rune stones, the old way of writing, like they would like chisel stuff, chisel runes. It's like they have different letters and stuff.
Oh,
So it's the rune stones. They're like massive stones that the Vikings would like carve stuff into.
Okay.
And, it's like
Like it would
an old language, I guess.
got you. Okay.
But I always thought that when I first came out as a skateboarder, we should have left out the Glifberg because nobody can ever really say it, and it always gets butchered and stuff. I think it would been easy if it was just like Rune, just like.
Oh, you wanted to be one per. No,
yeah,
but
just like
Glifberg. Who's
like
Miss-
Nadas or even like Dune, like Chris.
you'd
you know what I
have a
mean?
little nickname. Okay.
Yeah, or like.
Glifberg's not that hard to say. Who's
Yeah.
butchering that?
But we still,
I
you
butcher.
say Rune though, and you know who you're talking
Yeah,
about.
sure.
Oh,
So,
100%.
yeah.
I butcher a lot of names.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, you do.
Glifberg is not.
My God.
It's easy.
I was listening to Omar's thing. What did he say? Mahafahu or whatever he was saying about Dave Mayhew.
I don't remember, but
He said some fucked up shit
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that. It was funny as fuck.
Oh yeah,
I was fucking
blows
on
my
the
mind
floor.
sometimes. Yeah.
I've said
Yeah.
some shit.
It happens.
Yeah, because I was coming out here, and you guys were researching me, and I was kind of researching you guys a little bit, and I was like, okay, I'll watch Omar's, and then he said something about the D3, but he didn't he couldn't say Dave Mayhew.
Omar said it. Oh,
Yeah.
good. I thought it was me. I was
No,
like,
no,
good,
Omar
good.
Hassan. Yeah, and he said like Dave Mahafahu or something. I don't know.
He's amazing. Was he rapping when he was saying
Oh
that?
yeah, no, not while he was saying it, but he was definitely.
he's
Is
hilarious.
this the chair that he was rapping
Yeah,
on?
a lot of
Oh
people
my
sat in
God.
that chair, man. We need
All
new
right.
ones, to be honest. But
These things are a little
yeah, some
it works.
It works, but you're lucky.
I mean, he told me to sit up on the microphone too, so
It's good,
like,
right?
when yeah.
Dude, Rune
pretty
Glifberg,
comfortable.
bro.
Man.
This has been amazing, dude. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for coming by.
Yeah.
And please, next time you're in town, come by again. Tell some more stories. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like
Okay.
the door's always open. Dude.
All
You
right.
can come back
I
anytime.
appreciate that. Yeah.
Kelly, we
It's
do the
definitely
honors
been
and go
fun.
grab him
Yeah.
some 9 Club gear to take home.
What
Hopefully, you got
size?
some.
I'm usually like an XL.
XL?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hopefully, you got some room in the suitcase for a
Yeah.
couple extra little things.
Yeah. I'll get it going. If not, I'll have to wear it.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Planes get cold sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
a little bit.
Dressed to
Yeah.
You get your
get
little cover
hoodie.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't go on a plane without a hoodie.
So
True.
we're not doing a video part. Are we working on anything? Maybe we are doing a video part. What are we doing? Are we filming stuff?
We do have a flip project coming up, which is like mainly based around Corey and Arch.
Art Cordova?
Yeah, Art. Sorry, yeah, Art.
He's fucking good.
So yeah, there's a video project there,
Okay.
but
The whole
not-
team's going to be involved, though.
Yeah,
So you're going to have some clips.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Rune, come
If
on. I know you love that oververt shit on that park you built.
But it's weird. I still like. I mean, maybe it's because I have that like sort of like old school mentality that we talked about earlier. Like progression, it has to be better and like whatever. Like, I don't really like giving clips that I'm not like super proud of or like that didn't feel like it was an effort. But I definitely want to do some stuff. But I mean, yeah, we got tons of stuff coming up. You know,
Dope.
traveling and
I wouldn't be too hard on yourself, though. I think
No.
at this point in time, like the old saying is true to us. You know, people just want to see you skate. They want to see you out there. You know,
Yeah.
and the way that I look at it too sometimes is like just to be a part of these projects.
Yeah.
is amazing.
Oh, for sure.
So even if you
For
have
sure.
a clip in there, 2 clips or something, maybe you're not exactly stoked on, but you put together a little part. Like, I just think it's amazing to be a part of stuff like that.
Yeah, for
you
sure,
know?
for sure.
Dude, you're original though. It's crazy to hear you were like screening boards back then.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
selling boards.
Right,
And
right.
you're still pro for that company.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That's
Yeah.
incredible, dude.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't be here without them. So, yeah.
Do we
so,
do-
so
do-
I feel like I owe everything, my whole career to
Salute
Jeremy
to
and those
Flip
guys.
all day.
Did we do the math? How long have you been on Flip?
Well, since 1990, so that would be 34 years. Is it? Is that right?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yep. 20,
I'm
that's
a bad- I'm
2024.
bad at math.
So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
4 years.
Yeah.
For sure.
So,
Congrats,
well,
bro.
this coming May, it'll be 34 years. Yeah. So,
We don't count the Deathbox days.
well, I mean,
No.
I would count it.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I
maybe
mean, I'm counting them
36?
just because Flip wasn't even a
Yeah.
thing. So I guess. I've
So
been
34 on Flip, and then what? two plus years on.
on Deathbox.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was maybe about
Okay.
2 years before
We'll
we
just
got
call it
switched
34.
over. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And there was some other. I mean, there was some other great skaters that rode for Flip before we even came
Mhm.
out to the States. Like this kid Christian Hindman, and Matt McMullen, who unfortunately passed away a while back. And yeah, I mean, there's some really cool riders
Dude,
on there.
imagine if you guys never made that move.
I know, right?
I mean,
Skateboarding wouldn't be
again,
the same.
Think,
Bro.
Skateboarding would not be the
I mean,
same.
yeah.
Tom
Thank God Tony Hawk. You know, like again, like just like another thing that he's like been involved with. That's like, man,
I know.
He helped make that happen.
That is
So, you know,
crazy,
yeah.
dude. And then he gave you the key to his ramp and everything,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
he helps up.
Yeah.
He's,
I just I'm staying at his house right now.
Are you?
Amazing.
So it's
Tell him
like,
we
yeah.
said hello.
Yeah,
dude.
I will. Do you need him
Um,
back on the show? Do I need to leave a note or something?
Yeah, leave him a
Yeah.
note.
All right.
But that's what's rad about Tony Hawk, and I don't think a lot of people realize that, is like Tony Hawk will go out of his way, and that man is busy. He's got
Yeah.
the most busiest schedule probably that I've ever heard of, but he'll go out of his way to like help out a skateboarder, whether it's going on a podcast, whether it's helping them with this or that or whatever. Like he will make the time.
Yeah.
And I think that is really incredible.
For sure.
Yeah,
You
he's,
know,
he's
that-
a very genuine person and
Generous,
he's-
too.
Yeah, generous.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he loves skateboarding, and he wants the best for everyone.
Yeah. 'Cause
He's not just looking out for himself.
Yes. Yes.
So and I think it works in his favor too. I think
For sure.
because a lot of people give him respect back, and yeah.
As they should, man.
Yeah, yeah,
As
for
they
sure.
should. He's a good ambassador for us.
Oh,
man.
definitely.
You know?
Definitely.
Biggest and best all day.
Check this out, Rune. First of all, dude, Rune. No more Glifberg. Just Rune.
Yes, dude.
Just Rune.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're shaking.
Hell yeah, Rune.
First of all, we gotta stay
Ooh.
hydrated out there with the Yeti 9 Club thermos.
Amazing.
You know what I'm saying?
When I came out here, and I ended up buying this like glass bottle. Like I thought I was buying like a sparkling water, but it ended up being just a regular water. And it's hell expensive.
Yeah,
so
but
I've
the-
kept that bottle, the glass
Voss.
bottle, and I've been
Refilling
refilling it. But when I came out, I was like, I need to buy myself a water bottle.
There we
to
go.
bring back home.
Perfect.
And, here it is. So it was good that glass bottle worked out for me.
There you go.
Yeah,
And when it's
perfect.
cold, you could put hot cocoa in there or something. Keep it warm. You know what I'm saying?
Nice. Yeah, I'm more of a tea
That's a
guy.
lot of
yeah.
Oh, you're a tea
cocoa.
guy?
Yeah, that's a
Okay. We'll throw some marshmallows in there too.
bunch
you know,
of marshmallows.
Yeah.
Top it off with some marshmallows.
Some hot
love-
soup.
You don't drink hot cocoa out there?
Okay.
He's like blown away.
Yeah, so at a
I
birthday
say,
party or
like,
something, maybe.
Cocoa.
I'm just a cold ass. Anyway, okay.
Dude.
I like chocolate.
yeah,
though.
just a cold hot chocolate, hot cocoa.
Yeah.
Earl Grey with marshmallows.
Oh hell no! There's a hat for you, dude. Are you a
Yeah.
hat guy? I hope you are.
I am a hat guy.
if you are
yeah, for
not,
sure.
you will be now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We have different hats too, but I just picked that because it's like the Chris Roberts starter kit you're basically getting right now.
Look at
Yeah.
this, bro.
Look at the
And
socks.
He's wearing it all.
We got
Yeah.
the stance socks, bro.
Oh,
I don't know if he's wearing
Look at
the
that.
the socks
I
at
like-
the moment.
He's
I like
definitely
the
got that
orange.
hoodie on.
He does.
I like the orange. This is
Size?
great.
This is extra large.
They have that like concrete DIY look to them.
Thank
the
you,
orange,
bro.
you know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like
man.
the workwear style.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's
sick.
what we're going for,
good.
man.
Good. Stance.
Nice. 9 Club hoodie.
Nice.
Look at that.
That's perfect.
Nice burgundy.
Yeah,
man.
It's been a while since I had a burgundy.
Oh, they're beautiful.
But
It's
I
a
like
beautiful
the
color.
I like the sort
Kinda
of
the
college
college
yeah,
font,
like
yeah.
Collegiate.
you call it varsity? Is that,
I don't know.
You call it like a college?
Is it varsity?
Yeah.
Okay.
College.
But we can
whatever.
go through the back if you
Amazing.
want to look at anything else.
Yeah, we
like-
got a bunch of stuff.
So if
back
you don't
there.
like that one, we got black one.
Yeah.
But that one's
Yeah.
pretty good.
I like this.
Thank you.
I like
Yeah.
this. That's good.
All available on the 9club.com. Okay, listen, Rune, you are the man. Thank you so much
Hell
for
yeah,
coming
man.
by. We
Thanks for having
really
me.
appreciate that and all the stories that you told. And it's incredible, man. And congrats
Yeah,
on
yeah.
all the success and even next Olympics, you know?
Yeah, we'll see.